This is Keith Johansen. He has been brought in for questioning in the murder of his wife of 1 year, Brandy Colenza. When EMTs arrived on the scene, they found Colenza's body in the bedroom with gunshot wounds to her chest. Johansen had refused to give her any aid while on the phone with 911, and security cameras later showed that he spent that time hiding drug paraphernalia around the house. During Johansen's interrogation, it was quickly apparent that his story did not match up with the scene of the crime.
Yeah, right over there. Do you need anything right now? Any water?
Yeah, please, a drink.
Okay. I'll be right back with that then.
Thank you.
No soda, chips, anything?
Where's my son?
Huh?
Is he here yet, my son?
I believe so.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I just didn't want him.
I mean, he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just want to get this out with so I can start to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
All right. I mean, I don't have any updates at this very moment, but I mean, if you need anything, just let me know, okay?
Okay.
So,
Why am I even here?
Huh? Because we just wanted to talk with you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Hey Keith,
Yeah.
I'm Corporal
Please,
Hersakopoulos.
got a shirt.
Well, I'm hoping this fits you. This is all I could find.
I'll freeze it, man.
I know you asked them for a shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. You hungry? You need anything?
I'm just very upset.
I understand.
And I don't know. It's like it's not real. It's like,
Okay. Do you need some water or anything?
how's my son?
He's doing good.
Good.
He's doing puzzles and stuff.
Good, good.
Okay.
What's the process from here?
Well, I wanted to see if you needed a chaplain or something
Probably.
like that.
Well, like after all this, I probably need someone to talk to, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a lot to deal with, man. We just got married and, I just don't understand.
Okay.
I want to see my family.
Yeah. No, I understand. Just give me a couple. I just got here.
Yeah.
And somebody told me that you asked for a shirt and they
Yeah,
giving you one. So I found most of the stuff that we have is like women's
It's one of my
clothes.
favorite bands, though.
Oh, fantastic. The other one said like girl talk on it. All right. So
When can I see my son?
let me go talk. He was playing some puzzles with the victim advocate right now.
Okay.
All right. Let me check on that. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chaplain Ed.
Keith.
Keith.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry for your loss.
Just tell me why.
Yeah. Tell me what happened.
I was in. Okay. She woke me up.
What's your wife's name?
Her name is Brandy.
Brandy? Okay.
And she said that she was gonna make breakfast, start some coffee and all that. So I went to go. I went to go and take a shower. They just gave me a shirt. I was soaking.
Okay.
And I heard a boom, but I thought that it was a balloon, it popped. And then I heard this secondary, so I was like, what the hell? Turned it off right out there, and she's laying there like that, right next to my bed. So I called 911, and I said, hey man, help me save her, you know what I mean? And 911 came, and she died.
Oh no.
I think she was trying to move the guns, and when she moved them, they're relatively new guns. And when she moved them, I don't know, and I'm trying to
Process it, yeah.
wrap around,
Okay.
whole thing, and I just.
Johansen had only shown interest in religion shortly before the murder and seems to be using the chaplain to test his story before he speaks with the detectives.
I don't understand,
Sure.
and I'm starting to really question my faith at this point.
Yeah. Do you have a local pastor?
Yes.
Who's your pastor?
He goes to Palm Coast Community. There's a couple of them.
PC3?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my mom and dad are involved heavily in the church.
Okay. And is Brandy involved in the church as well?
We're starting to get into it.
Okay. What type of programs were you attending at
Just regular church.
just regular church?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there one pastor that you were close to that you'd like me to contact for you?
I mean, not really. I mean, my mom and dad are just as knowledgeable,
Okay.
you know, and I can't wrap around why she'd be taken.
Hmm.
I mean, she's so young. We just got married not too long ago, less than a year. We're starting out our life in a brand new house, and I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I can't wrap my head around it. And it's hard.
And how were the two of you getting along?
Perfect.
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 Okay, so you were making breakfast, or
She was making breakfast, and I went to go take a shower.
Okay, so you were in the shower when this happened.
Exactly.
Oh.
I mean, I walk out, I'm slipping all over my floors because they're all wood.
And where do you live?
I live on Helter
Say it
Lane.
one more time.
Felter.
Okay, Filtered Lane.
I mean, we were there less than a month. And we were just planning on renewing vows and having a nice wedding and all that. And I just don't understand. Like, why couldn't it have accidentally hit her arm, or why did it have to take that girl's life? It's a question that is a good question.
Yeah. Why were the guns out, can I ask?
Because I always kept one by my nightstand table
Okay.
and one in the bed wedged. Always. Always.
Has anybody threatened you or anything like that?
No.
It's just
No, because I have a security background,
okay.
and that's just,
What you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
and there ain't no one that would go in our room but me and her.
Okay.
And I just don't understand.
Why would she be moving them?
I don't know. Maybe she was redoing her bed. I don't know.
Okay.
That's another question.
Yeah. How can I pray for you?
I just pray that I have the strength to get through this, man.
Okay.
Pray that I have the strength to tell her son.
Oh, there's a child involved.
Yeah, he's here. But he wasn't in the room or nothing like that.
How old is he?
He is 6.
Okay.
He's in the other room here.
Okay.
He don't know anything yet.
Solenza's son knows more than Johansen realizes. He had spent the morning with his mother and heard parts of the arguments before she was killed.
So it's gonna be hard.
Sure. Absolutely.
And me, I just wanna go be with my family.
Hmm.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
And I'm lost and I don't know where to go.
What time did all this happen?
I don't know, a couple hours ago.
Couple hours ago.
And I don't know where to go from here in my mind. You know?
Well, you're dealing with the trauma of what's taking place.
Many people are unaware that their conversation with the chaplain is recorded. It doesn't happen often, but occasionally a suspect will say something incriminating.
Yeah, I'm in and out. I'm upset, I'm crying, I'm angry that I even took a shower. You know? Because that could have been prevented.
Yeah.
But like my dad said, it's not your fault, man.
Oh, you spoke to your dad already?
Yeah, he was at the scene.
Okay.
I'd called him and he came to the scene.
Okay.
I mean, how do you tell a little kid that?
You talk about accidents taking place. Sometimes it's just best to be open and honest in terms of what's taking place.
I know, but I don't want to mess up his head either. Because it's very detrimental. He's 6.
Yeah. And this is not your son, this is her son?
Her son, yes.
Okay.
But we're married, so he's my son. He calls me daddy, you know?
Okay.
And I just don't know how I'm gonna tell him, or her family don't even know. I don't know yet.
Is her family local?
Yes.
Okay, they live in Palm Coast as well?
Yes. And why? You know? That's the question. And I'm quite sure you hear that a lot.
Yeah. It's
It's a rather common question.
Yes, and especially when you have accidents that take place.
It's like she was the love of my life is what she was. And we were so happy, and it's just, I don't understand. I don't. And I'm starting to question my faith, like, is there a God? And why would he take her away?
Well, God doesn't take people away, okay? What God has given each one of us is free choice.
Sure.
All right, and God never trumps our free choice.
But he can manipulate
He doesn't manipulate our free choice.
things that happen. Like, that wasn't her choice to die.
No, it wasn't our choice to die.
No.
The sad part is that when accidents occur,
Okay.
You don't know the ramifications of decisions that you make at the moment. You know, I watched responded to a situation where, median strip
Okay.
in the middle of the road, traffic was moving, the person didn't see the median strip and drove right into it.
Wow.
And they were fine. I mean, they damaged the car, but they were able to get out of it. You wonder why that happened, and the person was just not observant to what was going on. So let's,
I don't know.
yeah, you have family issues. Let's see, so you have what's your last name?
Johansen. Johansen.
What's your dad's name?
My name is Gary.
Gary, I know Jeff, I know your
Yeah,
dad.
that's my dad.
Gary goes to Life Coach Church.
Yep. That's my father.
And your mom is
Lori.
Lori.
As you know, they got they got that faith going, I tell you.
Yeah, they attend Life Coast. I've met your dad. I don't socialize him, but I met him a few years ago, and I know your mom is doing. She drives.
Yeah.
She drives people to the airport.
Yeah, and they help the homeless. They do the shelters.
Yeah, they do a lot of things.
And to be quite honest, I just want to be with my family.
Did you get married at PC3?
Nope.
Where did you get married?
At the courthouse.
At the courthouse. Okay.
That's why we were going to renew and have a big wedding, because now we can
Okay.
afford it.
Are you going to renew at?
I picked to go to Princess Place
Princess Place?
and have a nice, because now we can hold it. It took a year to save up.
Okay. I know Mike Wade is the pastor
Yeah,
at
Mike.
Mike, and also
Pastor Mike's school.
Yeah, also Jeff Barksdale. Do you want me to contact them at some point?
I'll just
Or
have my
this-
parents do that.
All right, they'll be probably talking with them.
Yeah, because we're going to probably be going in there for counseling.
Okay,
Because I'm going to need it.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm glad you're open to it. What's your 6-year-old son's name?
His name's Ryland. 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 And I know ain't nothing you could say to explain.
Well, not in situations like this. You have an accidental death.
I just can't, Like, how am I going to live without her? You know what I mean? How am I going to go back to the house? I mean,
Those are all situations where God will give you the peace to be able to do that.
I need him to give me the strength.
Yeah, and He is a God of strength.
Because right now I'm feeling kind of weak.
Yeah.
As you can imagine.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, and also the Lord will just give you a sense of to see into the situation, So Lord, we just thank you for Brandy. We thank you for her life. We thank you, Lord, for the love that you have for her. We thank you, Lord God, that your plans are yea and amen. That, Lord, we can put our trust in you. You tell us, Lord, that you never forsake us, you never leave us. That even at that critical moment, Lord, that you were there with her. We thank you, Lord, that you're the one who loves her even into your kingdom. You tell us, Lord, in John 14, that in your home are many mansions, Lord, and that you always go to prepare a place for us. So I thank you that you've prepared a place for her. So, Lord, with death and dying, Lord, we are always left to deal with the aftermath of what's taking place. So I pray for Keith, Lord. I pray that the spirit of truth will come upon him. That not only truth, Lord, but just your peace and your strength. That, Lord, he would just face each moment. That he'd look and see what's happened, but also look with eyes of discernment. Eyes to see, Lord, that you're the one who's going to guide him through this. So, Lord, let him not walk at a place where he's feeling so weak that he can't face what's taking place. But, Lord, just bring comfort to him, Holy Spirit. You who bring comfort. Holy Spirit, you are the one who gives us love, joy, and peace. Just fill him now. Fill his heart, Lord, now. Fill him up, Lord, I pray. I pray, Lord God, for Rylan. I pray, Lord God, that his life without his mom, that, Lord, you would minister to him, that you would raise up even grandparents to get help care for him, for him to know, Lord, that he's not going to be alone. Help him through the trauma of losing his mom, Lord. I mean, the child's not going to understand, but all we can do, Lord, is love him through this. We can't take the place of mom, but we can love him through the days that are ahead. So I pray, Lord, that you would just guide and direct those who interact with Rylan, that, Lord, they would see him as they would see you and minister unto him as they would minister unto you. So I pray your blessing, Lord, your blessing upon him. Bring peace, Lord, peace in the situation of trauma, in the situation of loss. Bring peace, I pray, in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So tell me how you were so you got married in the courthouse. What was the date of your marriage?
Last year, almost exactly a year ago.
You remember the date?
And now it's on the paper because they make you wait until they send it to you.
Okay. But do you remember when the judge married you, or the mayor married you? You remember what that was? No.
I mean, I got all the marriage stuff.
Okay. So was it May or April that you were married?
It was probably April, I'd say.
Okay. What's Brandy's parents' names? Did you give this all the information to the detectives already?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't need to collect all this. Okay. But they attend PC3 too, or they attend Life Post?
No, I don't know where her parents go.
What are their names? So just give it to me.
Joe and Candy Salenda. I believe her mom's last name is, yeah. Celenza.
Celinda.
Silencia.
Silencia.
Or Talenza, but Talencia.
CELEND.
Z-A. Z-A.
C-A.
Z-A.
Oh, Z-A. Silenza. Okay.
Her last name is now Johansen, but she hasn't converted over her social or any of that yet.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's a lot,
yeah, it's a lot.
and I just don't know, how I'm going to move on.
It's going to be one moment at a time.
Yeah, I can't go back to that house. I don't know if I'm strong enough yet. to
Well,
walk
then
in
do
and
it.
deal with it.
Did you tell your mom and dad? Can you stay with them?
I haven't even really got to talk to them because they wouldn't let me really.
Okay. But when you talk to them, that's something you're gonna talk with them.
Okay.
So that it's not unusual to not want to go back to the house. There are also services that can help clean up anything that might be there.
Yeah. I mean, when I looked, it didn't look like there was a lot of blood. I saw some on the outside, but, you know, not like on the floor or nothing.
Okay.
Yet, I mean, I was only, you know, I was rushed out quick.
Did 911 respond real fast?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so the
Within a couple
ambulance was-
minutes,
they were there, yeah.
but it was a few minutes too short.
Okay, when they arrived, she had already died.
I guess that's what they said.
Okay. When Gary, was your mom also there?
No one was there. I had called them to come there,
Okay,
and I was there within minutes.
okay.
And what my dad said is, you just stay strong and keep faith. God will help you.
He will. God is a help in every situation.
But that's easy for somebody to say, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, tell me about your relationship with God.
On and off,
Well,
you know, on and off, you know. I have the faith, just don't really practice it as much as I should.
was there a time that you asked Christ into your heart?
Yeah,
When was that?
when I was 8, 9, something like that.
Okay.
And it was a Christian camp in Iowa. And I remember them saying, well, you should feel something, you should feel something. And they were like, you know, you must have some evil in you because I wasn't crying like everybody else.
Who said that?
This asshole counselor. And that kind of discouraged me for a long time,
Sure, it would discourage anyone.
you know. And then
This is not about feelings.
my mom and dad, they kind of, their ways kind of, I would say, kind of did an influence on me, you know. And then I got into it from there, you know. So yes, I'm a believer. I just don't practice as much as I should, but you don't have to go to church to have a relationship with God.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
You know, and it's just, I know she's probably in a better place, but why couldn't she just stay with me longer, you know?
Yeah. How old
24, 25?
she's Brandy was young.
She was born in 93.
Yeah, she's young.
So yes, I am getting all of my guns, I'm selling them all. I don't want to have one around, I don't want to see one. I mean, when something like this happens, you realize how powerful they really are,
Certainly.
you know? And I don't even want to say one again. I'm gonna have my dad go to my house and take them all. I'll probably be afraid of them for a long time.
Yeah. Well, it's safety issues, really. But that's a natural response.
Sure.
It's a really natural response.
It's just, I don't know.
Were the guns loaded? Did Rylan come into the room too?
No. It locks. There's no way, no.
No, okay.
He always stayed out of our room. Always.
Okay.
He knew he wasn't allowed in there. You know? And he was watching TV. And I was on the phone with 911 and I was like, Rylan, stay in your room. You know what I mean? He's like, why? I was like, I think your mom accidentally shot herself. And that's the only thing he knows. And he's like, why are you butt naked? Like, and he's been stronger than me. I don't know.
Well,
He's strong, man.
He's just a child.
But yet he don't know.
He doesn't know what happened.
And that's what I regret, is telling him what happened to his mom. You know? And I don't know I can't do it alone. So I'm gonna have me and my family, and you know,
Yeah, your family can be a real support to you and a real strength to you.
and they will be.
You have other siblings?
Yes. Yep, I got 4 older sisters. And 2 of them were there. So they know. And
2 were at the house.
no, they came afterwards.
Oh,
Because I guess I called my mom, and my mom was like, hey man, you need to be here.
Okay.
They were there to support me. Or Brandy or whatever was going on.
Yeah, so that.
Because I didn't know that she had passed for a good half hour.
Okay.
I was just yelling at the paramedics, help her. You know, and one cop was, he was standing by the car the whole time I was there, and, I was like, is she okay? What's going on? He's like, I'm not gonna lie to you, she had passed.
Okay.
And my heart just sunk.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you mend a broken heart like that?
Yeah. It's gonna take time for that to heal.
It's just, I need the strength.
Yeah. Well, let's pray the Lord would just give you peace right now.
I wish I could have it right now.
Certainly.
And it's hard because everybody's making me flashback. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tell what happened, what's this, what's that, and it's every time they say that, or I have to think, about what just happened, because it's all like a big nightmare to me.
Yeah.
It's just, it brings it back, and I get weaker. So hopefully that man upstairs can help me so I'm strong enough. And I'm hurt, I'm confused. I don't know where I'm gonna go from here.
Well, that's natural. Your whole life has just stopped.
Pretty much. Everything I've built, is
How'd the two of you meet?
we met way back when we were both teenagers. And then she was actually with one of my old friends. And then years later, she had contacted me on Facebook saying, hey, I know you. Hey, mom broke me. And I was like, yeah. So we scheduled a date at a bar. And ever since then, we've been inseparable.
Okay.
So it's one of those things that the love of your life was in front of you the whole time, but you didn't know it till later,
Yeah, it happens at times.
Ironic.
Yeah.
It's really ironic.
And you're the same age?
No, I'm 36. Just turned 36. March 10th. And hers is March 1st, so we're both Pisces. March 1st, 1993. It's hers.
And you said you're March 4th?
No, March 10th.
March 10th,
82.
82. Well,
It's just,
so, your father's probably contacted Jeff already, so Jeff probably.
probably.
Or still.
I would think. I would
Yeah.
think they probably would.
Yeah. And that,
I don't know, I can't make a call because they don't know where my damn cell phone is.
I'm sure they're,
Oh, they'll find it.
they'll find it, I'm sure. The, those pastors that go to Life Coast, PC3, Clark,
I convert over to my mom and dad's.
yeah, those pastors know each other, so I'm sure they'll be in contact with one another in terms of what's taking place.
Sure. I mean, I don't even know how I'm gonna bury her or nothing, man. Like
Well, you've only been together a year, that's usually something you don't talk about.
no, I mean, we're young. I mean, who would have talked about it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't even know her, how she wished it, you know, if she wants a casket, if she wants, I mean, they were young. We don't talk about those things, you know?
No, you don't.
I just want to respect her in the right way and what she wanted. So maybe
Well,
her mom and dad know,
It's probably better to reach out to them as well.
you know,
Talk
because I
about
don't have to pay for it all, you know, I'm her husband, you know?
Yeah, do you,
I have enough money to do so, you know?
okay, that's good.
It's just like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to deal with it all myself, you know what I mean?
Well, there's, at PC3, there's a Celebrate Recovery program that, Josh Toro is a.
I know Josh.
You know Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that he's in charge of. I think they also do a grief program there.
Okay.
There's a grief program over at Presbyterian Church. And I will know at the United Methodist Church
Okay.
on Belterre, there's also a grief group.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's where her dad goes, is the Methodist church there.
Okay. So that, with Pastor Kevin James.
I don't know, I haven't been there.
Okay, I wouldn't expect you would be, but I know that they do a grief program there as well.
Okay.
All right, and then I could see you, I'll give you my card, and you could give me a call and I could just see how you're doing.
Okay.
Your dad, probably remembers me,
I'm sure.
from some things I may have done at Life Coast years ago.
Okay.
All right. And I know your mom is working with John Butler.
Yeah.
All right, so I know John. John just picked me up at the airport, that's why I know this.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so he just flight
How ironic if it was my mom, huh?
No, it wasn't your mom, no. But this is who I am, okay? So this is my card,
Okay.
okay?
I will definitely be keeping this.
Right, so that if you're getting stuck, there's, the grief process is one where,
I'm dreading it because I'm already broken down.
yeah, but the key thing now is not to make any decisions, that are life changing. I mean, the decisions that you need to face are the issues about funeral, the issues about.
Oh, just not having her around, man.
Yeah. The
I mean, how do you just move on, you know?
well, you don't just move on. There's always, there's gonna be a void that's gonna be in your life. There's an emptiness that's gonna be in your life.
And I'll probably stay forever.
Yes, yes. So that what I would encourage you to do is to think about the good times that you were together. All right, and to fill your heart and your memories with the good times.
Which was a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
So, can you tell me one?
I mean, many. There's just so many. I mean, just her smile. Waking me up every day. Here you go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just having a wife that was actually a real wife.
Johansen does what he can to lead the chaplain to believe that he and Salenza shared an idyllic relationship, which will be a consistent theme when he talks with the detectives. Here's a quick reminder that I have a Patreon page with a ton of exclusive and ad-free content, like this one about a predator that was exposed live on TV. His interrogation is definitely something you'd want to watch, and you can do that right now at patreon.com/Stranger Stories Plus.
You know, that loved you unconditionally. You know, that was the best part of my life.
Okay.
Is having somebody to share with and, you know, to talk to every day and, you know, who was always on my side. You know, and I'd been married once before, like in the past,
Okay.
and it was nothing like it should be like this.
Okay.
You know, and it's just, there's so many things that are flashing through my head. It's just crazy, you know. And I don't know if I can come to the realization that I'm not gonna be able to talk to her or see her. You know?
Yeah.
And what's really getting to me, man, is when they told me to stand over her and I seen her eyes roll back. I actually watched my wife die, dude.
That'd be hard.
There was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
I was powerless.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. And I probably never will. You know, to be honest.
She wouldn't have picked up the gun on her own accord, would she?
Yeah.
She would have picked it up.
Yeah, to like move it or, you know, something like that. Maybe she was trying to put him away. I don't know. And I wish I did know, because that would bring me some clarity.
Yeah. We,
I should have never left him out.
were you handling him earlier today?
No, it stayed in the side of my bed, right here in the frame.
So why would she touch it?
Maybe to move him? I mean, maybe she was gonna make the bed. I don't know. And if I did know, at least I would have that clarity,
Yeah, we may not know.
you know?
Did you, both of you go shooting together?
Oh, all the time.
So she knew how to handle the gun then?
But those ones were new.
Oh.
They were newer. One of them had a safety, one of them didn't. I mean, they were different.
I'm not really that familiar with guns,
Yeah.
so
Sure. You know, and
I,
I don't know which one it was.
Okay.
Because there was two of them on the floor.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one was which, you
how
know?
many guns do you have?
Oh, I got like 5 or 6.
Okay.
All of them, but 2 are locked up.
Okay.
One for me, one for her, you know?
Okay, those are the ones you use for protection.
Correct.
Has anybody ever threatened you or anything?
No, nothing like that.
No.
Well, it's just, it was a brand new neighborhood. We didn't know our neighbors, we didn't know, you know what I mean? Any of that.
Okay.
So we just had them around for damn safety, you know?
Alright.
And she was a really small girl, so she could like to have hers at least near, just in case, you know, especially when I left. And it's just like, I wish I would have never bought her, you know? I wish I would have never bought them, because then my wife would be alive.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's decisions we make.
Yeah, it's the choices that God has given us.
I just don't understand. You know, maybe she slipped, maybe.
Well, those are things we may not know.
I just don't know what to do.
Well,
And I
One
really
thing-
want to be with my parents.
yeah. Well, I think when the detectives, speak with you next in terms of contacting your parents and talking with them,
Sure.
that's something you can, you shared with me that you want to go back to the house. I think talking to your dad and your mom and saying, I'd like to stay there. They have the room to.
Oh, I'm sure they would help me.
Yeah. In terms of Ryland, can he stay with them too?
Yeah, you can stay with me wherever I go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know that one of, my wife's wishes, and she's had it many times, I do not want him to go back to his father.
Okay.
He's got a bad background, and he's not responsible, and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I don't know how I'm going to deal with that.
Okay.
Does he have custody over me? They haven't even been to court for custody.
That's something you're.
Or does it go to me because she married me and I'm legally his father?
Well, legally, he's the father.
But they haven't went to court. He has no rights, period.
Well,
So how's that going to work? Because I don't want him to be confused either.
I don't know. You may need to speak to an attorney about that.
I just want him, hey, maybe you might know how that works.
Yeah. The other part is that you may want to talk to Brandy's mom and dad too.
That's going to be hard.
Yeah. Did you call them this morning?
They tried off of her telephone and they couldn't reach him.
Okay.
but I did give them the address, you know, and stuff like that.
So somebody may have gone to the house and provide notification to them. Okay.
And I don't know how I'm gonna tell them, you know, it's gonna be hard.
Of course. Of course. Pray that God give you wisdom, give you the words to speak, to share with them.
You know, it's like,
They're dealing with, the loss of their daughter.
I'm dealing with the loss of my wife too at the same
But I
time.
mean,
I don't know how they're gonna react. You know?
You don't know until you're faced with it.
And it's something that I gotta face.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, I gotta face so much.
Could run the, people
When
respond.
are you ready for something like this? You never are.
No, but each person has to respond in their own way. Some may respond with love, some may respond with just shock, some may respond with a great deal of anger. But each one needs their space in terms of how they respond.
And I don't know how I'm gonna respond.
Well, you're responding now just by talking about it.
Except there's a lot of whys and sadness, and you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm ready to tell them, that, hey. And then they're gonna blame me, oh, well, you had guns, around, and,
Well, that may go with the turf.
it's like, man, I got enough to deal with right now, man.
Well, but the truth is you did have guns.
But yeah,
So,
that's the truth.
and they're gonna look at, what would have made their daughter alive, what would have helped to make her alive.
Oh, trust me, that's what I'm replaying in my head.
I'll talk with the detectives, maybe I'll need to reach out to them as well. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanna be with my family because they're mortified.
Yeah.
And they don't know what's going on, and,
Okay.
they do, but they don't.
Did Brandy have a good relationship with your sisters?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All of them. She had a good relationship with my whole entire family, which right there, that's a hell of a feat right there. Right there.
Were you guys together on Easter?
Yep, we went to her families.
Okay.
And we didn't go to mine because usually we go to mine for everyone. So we decided to go to her family. And we spent the Easter with them, correct?
Okay. All right, good.
So, where do I go from here?
Well, I think
I mean,
some of the things that we've talked about,
what I feel is off and on, and it's like a roller coaster.
it's going to be all confused.
So that's normal.
It's normal to be confused. I think the one thing that you did share with me was that, and this is probably a big decision, that you don't want to go back to the house tonight. So I think that's one decision that you can talk.
Not for a while, maybe.
Yeah, that's one thing, that's one of the decisions you can talk to your mom and dad about, is staying there until, and I'm sure your parents will give you enough space
Oh, yeah.
to say it's up to you in terms of what you want to do.
Sure.
Was it your house or was it a place you were renting?
The place I was running, we had been there less than a month, and I just gave them $15,000 for a year.
Why'd you pay it the whole year?
So I didn't have to deal with it every month.
Okay. Well, that's part of it. And there are,
And
I'll leave this with you.
as far as if I'm going to be able to ever go back, probably not.
Well, you're dealing with these are, I make these things available, the sheriff's office does.
Okay.
But this is, when you're dealing with death and dying, this is essentially just a checklist that we work with, okay? I'll leave this with you in terms of how you want to process
That
things.
way I can kind of,
Check it off, all right? And this is just meant so that at some point you're gonna have to contact the funeral home.
yeah, I don't even know where they took her.
Well, they may have
If they
examined,
have, yeah. I don't know.
they may have, probably in a situation like this, to contact the medical examiner.
Sure.
All right, so the medical examiner then will be involved, and the medical examiner's office is in St. Augustine.
Oh, wow. Way away.
Well, Flagler in St. Johns County,
Oh, they kind of work together.
they work together on that. All right, so this is a checklist that you would work through in terms of contacting your funeral home.
Okay.
gathering any insurance information. I don't know if there would be any.
Okay.
Finding out about supportive bereavement groups. I'm just sure.
I'm gonna need them.
Yeah, and I think since you know Josh Toro, to reach out to
I feel
him.
comfortable, yeah.
Yeah, you know him, you feel comfortable with him. He would, he's a pastor over at Life Coast, but he also works over at PC3. He has a Celebrate Recovery program. So you can contact him to work through any grief. And there's no rules or regulations in terms of how long you should grieve.
Sure.
All right, you just take your time to go through the process.
I'm sure it'll last a lifetime.
Yeah. Well, there's always that empty hole that you'll sense. Sure. And that'll always be there. These are other things that you can, the motor vehicles in terms of,
It's
sharing.
online.
All right, but, go through that process.
Okay.
So, in terms of a list is, first you need to contact her parents, let them know what's happened,
Okay.
and to be prepared to deal with the anger. All right, that's I'm sure you were the one who brought it up to me. I'm sure that's going to be there in terms of why'd you have the guns.
Well, I know why, you know what I mean? But I get what you're saying.
Right.
Because they're going to try to always point the finger at
Well,
someone
then
else.
it's because it's an accident.
They don't understand either.
Well, yeah. So that you need to be honest, and I don't know. I don't know what she was doing, but she got shot. Okay.
I wish I did. No.
Yeah.
You know?
These are also funeral homes.
Okay.
All right. In talking with your in-laws and talking with your parents to make you need a decision in terms of burial
Sure.
or cremation.
Sure. I don't even want to even think about it.
Well-
Because in my head, I don't even want to come to grips with she is really gone. You know?
I understand that. And is this too soon to really talk about this?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put it aside then.
I just don't even really want to.
Okay. So
I'm sure you understand.
I understand. All right. I was trying to help you to go through a process in terms of how you think and what you think about next.
Sure.
Okay. But
Sure.
if that's too quick, that's fine. I'll back away from that. Okay.
Sure.
It sounds to me like you have support from your parents,
Sure.
support from your sisters. That'll be the primary thing or the primary people that will give you the support to process all this.
Okay.
All right. They may not have all the answers, but sometimes just the freedom to say, this is what I'm thinking.
Sure.
Okay. So that the most important part about grieving is to have a support structure around you that can help you, and it sounds like you have that already.
I'm lucky.
Yeah, you're fortunate, or you are lucky. You're fortunate to have that.
And to be quite honest, I just want to talk to my mom and dad. And
Yeah, of course. And
maybe
it's-
they can help me try to figure some of this out.
What happens if there are no answers?
Then at least they're there for me.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe help me try to tell Ryland.
Well,
You know.
that's good. And to focus about.
And I have a daughter too that she has no idea.
Oh, you have a
I'm gonna have her on weekends though.
Okay. How old is she?
She is just turned 10.
So how does Rylan and your daughter get along?
Great.
Okay.
I mean, absolutely great. When they're together, they won't even leave each other's side, you know?
Okay.
Which is awesome to have.
That's
you know?
good.
And yet I don't want to break up the family either. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And that's why I asked you about law and stuff like that.
I can't answer those questions because I'm not an attorney.
Because you don't need to have everything stripped from me, my daughter, you know?
Yeah, but so I can't answer those. I just don't know. But I don't.
And it's just like, it's like a bad dream.
And usually, usually in a new marriage situation, one thing I know is that it's not just having custody of the child.
Sure.
But in some situations where people get married and remarried, one will adopt the children so that they have a blended family through the adoption.
Sure.
So like your child, if the mom wasn't caring for the child, to
Sure.
put everybody together, and but you need to talk to attorneys in terms of how that sorts out, who has what rights and who's going to surrender rights, and what that may look like.
Okay.
In spite of Johansen's false claims about Salenza's ex-husband, he was granted custody of their son. Johansen never saw the boy again after his arrest.
All right.
And they said that they were going to let me see my son, but
I don't know what's happening with that. I think,
it's been hours.
yeah, I don't know where they are in that process. They called me to come administer to you. You must have asked for a chaplain.
Yes.
Okay. So,
I just needed to make some kind of sense.
yeah, I'll continue to pray for you.
Thank you.
Okay. When you talk to your mom and dad, I won't start the conversation with them
Sure.
because I'll value our confidentiality of our conversation.
Okay.
All right. But if you want to share with them and they reach out to me, then I'll talk with them.
Okay.
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 All right.
To be quite honest, I mean, I still got blood from her. It's just, I don't know whether I want to wash it off or I don't.
Well, you'll come.
I mean, really, it's the last thing I have,
Yeah.
And I just want this process over with so I can just go home and talk to my parents and her parents and just,
I understand. Well, the sheriff's office.
I want to get the hardest part over.
Yeah. All right.
All
So
this is just, don't matter, you know what I mean? I just want to be able to make her parents notified, and do that strong and have the strength, and maybe my mom and dad will go with me to do that.
I'm sure they will. Yeah, I'm sure your dad would do that.
And like, how do you say something, man, like that? Maybe an officer will go there or something too.
Perhaps. Yeah.
And then let them have time to do their grieving and then they can get hold of me when they're ready.
They have to process that too.
Exactly.
The same way you need space to process what's taking place.
Exactly.
They need the time to process that the daughter is dead.
And I just don't get, I can't understand it,
Then you can sympathize with them
Sure.
not understanding it as well.
Sure. And it's just like, she was in such a good mood today too, I made breakfast. I'm gonna make breakfast, what do you want, this and that,
What time did all this occur?
I don't even know, 9 or 10.
Okay.
In between there, I just woke up and took a shower.
Right.
And why, And I was helpless. I couldn't do nothing for her. And that's what really gets me. I'm supposed to protect her. I'm her husband,
Well, when somebody's shot, there's not much you can do in terms of protecting them. It's really bringing in the medical people. It sounds like you called 911 as well.
Immediately.
Yeah, it's the only thing you could do.
And then I was helping her, I mean, it must have been in God's plan, though.
No.
You don't think so? Now, whose plan was it in? Is he the God of the devil?
As we're sharing with you, God gives us free choice.
Sure.
Every life is precious to God.
Sure.
There's a sanctity of each life that God wants to see every life protected, but there's also accidents that take place. As a
That
man,
he can't rule over, correct?
he will never trump a person's free choice.
It was just a free choice.
We have free will, and that's the one thing that sometimes people don't understand, the free will that we have.
Okay.
That well, it's in God's design and God's great plan. Now, God's great plan for each one of us is that we fulfill the dream that He had for our lives.
Sure.
So He has a plan and purpose for each of our lives.
Which makes me think more about what You know, your plans or choices are before you make a choice or a plan.
Right.
You know?
The question you may want to consider is, who can God be for you now
Sure.
that he could be at no other time of your life?
Sure, because I need him more than ever right now.
Yes. So it's a matter of being God-focused
Okay.
and who he can be for you now that he could be at no other time.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right? And to lay these needs before him. You know, he's a big God. He can handle all that you're processing.
Sure. And he can make stuff come and go too. You know?
Yeah, he can.
And I don't know, you know, if I'm ever gonna be able to get over it, you know, that's in time. Time will tell. You know? So hopefully he gives me the strength to have that peace, yes.
And I'm sure he will.
I gotta have the faith that he will.
Well, you don't need to work it up.
Sure.
You just ask him, Lord, I need your help in dealing with everything that's going on now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And it's moment by moment. It's not, 3 days from now. It's moment by moment.
Sure.
Just help me now. Lord, come and meet with me.
Mhm.
Help me to be more focused. Help me, Lord, to
So I have
think.
to have the strength to do the things that need to be done.
Yeah, and it may not just be a matter of strength. It just may be a matter of just being you. Nobody's asking you to be strong.
I have to be, though, for certain people.
Not really.
You know, just like our son. I have to be strong enough to.
Just be loving. That's all you need to be, is be loving.
Which I am anyway.
Yeah, that's all you need to be. Just be who you are.
Okay.
All right? You don't need to manufacture strength. You don't need to manufacture anything. You just need to be who God has made you to be. Okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to have a word of prayer, and then I'll see what else is going on.
Let's do this.
All right. Lord, I just lift up Keith to you, Lord. I pray, Lord, that you would just continue to minister to him. That, Lord, you guide and direct each one of his steps, that you guide his thought life. That, Lord, you just bring comfort to him. That, Lord, you bring peace to him. That, Lord, all the things that he's wrestling with now, all the things he's trying to process, that, Lord, at times it's all overwhelming because you're just thinking about this thing and that thing, and what am I going to do now? What am I going to say? But Lord, you're the one who we can turn to. So I pray, Lord, you'd give him the words, that you would give him the thoughts to speak to others. That, Lord, would bring clarity and help him to deal with his own feelings and emotions about what's going on. I thank you for mom and dad that'll care for their son. I thank you for the support system that he's talking about. I pray, Lord, that you'd give wisdom to him as he talks with Rylan, and just guide and direct the conversation, Lord. Guide and direct him. Let him know, Lord, that he doesn't need to show strength. He doesn't need to show anything. All he needs to do is be who you've called him to be. Let him be honest with his own emotions. If he can't deal with things, just to say, I can't deal with it right now. So that just place him in a place of love, so we can just receive your love and just give it to other people. Lord, you're the God who brings truth to every situation, to every emotion, to every feeling, to every action. So I pray, Lord, that you, who are truth, would just continue to bless this time and these moments with truth. In your name, Jesus, I pray. Amen. All right, brother. So talk to your parents. I'm sure Gary would know me. If you want me to reach out to Pastor Barksdale or Billy at PC, I certainly can do that. All right, just let one of the detectives know. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna go with a cigarette like they said. That's good. I'm gonna go with a cigarette like they said.
Let me just check with them, okay?
Yeah, he said I was free to do it.
All right. Well, no, let me just. Okay. You gonna do that?
Freezing.
Alright.
That'll
This is Detective Thomas, or you call
Oh,
it Nicole.
Nicole's fine.
It's her case, so, you know, just, she just wanted to come talk to you. You were cool with giving her a statement, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay, awesome.
no problems with that.
Um,
How's my son doing?
oh, he's doing good. He is doing great.
See, the thing that I don't want to tell him is what happened to his mom. I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
But the chaplain gave me a lot of good resources.
Oh yeah, how was that?
I cried in here for about 20 minutes, so I'm trying to calm down.
Again, man, like this is kind of stuff that it's better to
I
not
know.
do it by yourself. You know, he's a professional. He's been doing it for a long time.
Well,
he
He
said
actually knows my mom and my dad.
he knows them personally. Oh,
So that was a good thing. So now I got a better network, you know? And I just don't know why and how I'm gonna get over this. You know, and it's something that I wish it was a nightmare and just went away.
we've all been there.
It's definitely not anything that you have to do overnight either. Nobody's expecting you to be a superhero or anything like that. You know, it's going to take time. It's going to take time for your son, her son.
I mean, how am I gonna tell their parents? Have they been even notified yet?
Yes, they have.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I could do it myself.
Right.
You know, it's bad enough that I gotta tell the son. You know, and I don't know where to go from here, guys. Like, it's like almost not even real to me.
Right.
You know, and go ahead, fire away.
So I just want to make sure that you're comfortable to be here, that you know that if any time you don't want to talk to us, you don't have to. We don't want to
Sure.
make you feel uncomfortable. We don't want to add any trauma to what's going on.
Basically, I just want to get this part over with so
Right.
me and him can go be with our families.
It's
Sure.
normal.
So
But
during
I've been
this,
here, what, 2-3 hours?
I don't know. I don't think it's been that long, but it probably seems like a long time because it's
Yeah,
just
no room.
it's just a box in here. All right, so because we don't know you, what we like to do is we like to find out about you, about your life, about your marriage, about everything that's going on, just so that we can, our job is basically to paint a picture of what's going on and what happened.
Okay.
So we just want to know everything that you can tell us about you, about your wife, about your family, what was going on. So we just want to have a conversation with you to get to know you.
Okay.
We may ask you some questions that are personal. We don't want to offend you. We don't mean to be overbearing
to
or
be done.
anything. We just have to do it. So if you'd like to start and just tell me about you, tell me who you are.
Well, my name is Keith Johansen.
Okay.
And I was an ex-roofer. Recently, well, back in 2018, I got hurt at work. I was a roofer for like 15 years, man.
Mhm.
And I got hurt and was going through the surgeries and stuff like that I decided not to have. Took a settlement of $100 and some $1,000.
Mm.
So I moved me and my family to the house we're in now.
Mm.
We've been there less than a month. Paid 1 year advance. Me and her got married last year. Now that I had this money, we're planning on having a real wedding. I mean, I'm a pretty boring person, so it's open and shut with that one. It'd be better if you just ask me questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
How long have you and Brandy been together?
a little over a year.
All right. And how would
Well,
you
together or married?
together?
About 2.5, 3 years, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and you've been married how long?
About a little over a year.
Okay. How would you describe your relationship?
The best one that I've had yet. I mean, she was everything that I wanted her to be. Everybody has their problems here and there, of course. But it was, she woke me up, she made breakfast, she had my back,
Mhm.
And that's very rare. I've had one bad relationship before, and that was nothing like this one. I mean, as far as I know, we were loved it, happy. We did things with kids. We did our thing. And we're trying to start a new life, you know, in a new house. And I would say it was great. I mean, you know, they asked, you know, was she depressed or any of this? And no, it wasn't like that. She would uplift me, you know? And it's just one of those people who you're like, where were they at all my life, you know? And it's very hard. I mean, I don't even know if I could go back to my house. Which the chaplain said that's normal, you know, and I just don't understand the whole situation. I really don't. Do you guys have any information to maybe clarify it a little bit more?
Well, I mean, we're still pretty early on in the investigation. You have the most pertinent information that we're going to need for this.
Okay, go ahead.
So, you know, I don't feel like we're in a place right now where I can tell you a whole lot of things that I know for a fact.
Okay.
So when you guys got together, how did you guys meet?
Okay, we met way back when she was a teenager, I was somewhat a teen. And she was with a different person who happened to be one of my friends. Okay? And years later, she contacted me on Facebook saying, hey, you. I was like, hey, you know, Mom, how you doing? You know what I mean? You know, she was like, hey, you want to meet at a bar? And, you know, and from there on, we've been inseparable. I mean, talking inseparable. We did everything together. I even made her quit her job so she could be an at-home mom.
Johansen just gave the detectives a major red flag by saying that he made Salenza quit her job. This was one of the first hints of his controlling and abusive nature.
Because, you know, with the settlement and whatnot, I already had, you know, like enough money that we didn't need her to work. She was thinking about going back to work because she got bored, she said. So that's what that is.
How did that make you feel that she wanted to go back to work?
Perfectly fine. I mean, if that's what she felt that she needed to do, go for it. You know, she wanted to have another serving job, but she's trying to get back into Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
Where she met all of her friends. They seem to be good people. I mean, I have a problem with that.
Okay. So up to today, what would you say was the biggest issue that you guys have in your relationship?
The biggest issue is she would just lie about stupid things, you know. But other than that, I mean, the stress of her always wishing that she could add more to the relationship, as in, that's why she wanted to get a job. You know, and I was like, it's not that important. You know what I mean? But besides that, I mean, we seem to be happy. I mean, you know, like we'd have our arguments here and there, stupid little things. But never nothing violent, never nothing too crazy, you know? So I would say our relationship was, you know, okay, with the exception of a little bit of bickering here and there, you know?
Was she, when you guys would bicker, was she a yeller? Was she
Sometimes.
a screamer?
Sometimes.
All right, explain that to me. How would all that happen?
She would either yell about something or scream about something, and then she could go to a different room. She'd calm down. That was that.
Footage from the security videos show that Johansen was the screamer in the relationship. Salenza would remain quiet and passive, and often curled into a ball on the bed to cry.
So out of the two of you, who would you say was the more aggressive during arguments?
Neither.
Neither.
Not the same. You know? We both knew that, you know, stand away and cool down. You know? Haven't had an argument in a couple of days, at least. Last night, we had one of her friends over. And we watched the movie. We were on the couch. She was cuddling up with me. we fell asleep, woke up about 2.
Mhm.
And I was like, hey man, my back hurts, let's go back. We went back into the bed. I fell asleep, she fell asleep. She must have woke up earlier than me because she had woke me up and was like, wake up, I'm gonna make breakfast, you know? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a shower. And I took a shower, and in the shower I heard a boom. I thought it was a balloon. Then I heard a secondary boom. And I was like, what the hell? Walked out there, slipped on the floor, because they're all wood floors.
Mhm.
Slipped on the floor, looked over, and it's her laying there. And I immediately found my phone and called 911. Immediately. And I got on the phone with the 911 dispatcher and was like, hey, I think she accidentally, because that's what it looked like. That's, and he was kind of yelling at me. He was kind of rude.
Mhm.
Well, try to apply pressure. And I was like, I can't get to her. I'm soaking wet. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then they were like, okay, there's 911 at your door. So I let them in, and they pretty much rushed me out. That's all I really remember about that.
Okay. How was Brandy for the last week or two? How was she mentally?
Mentally? I mean, not like depressed or mad or nothing. She usually was a happy, bubbly person. And you can ask any of her friends this. She was one of those people who you were just like, if you were in the dumps, she would go out of her way to help her friends be out of the dump. You know what I mean? She was just real bubbly, and that's what attracted me to her.
Mhm.
Is the bubbly personality, always happy, you know what I mean?
Sure.
The kid's like, well, and I was like, why are you always smiling? How could I not, she says. Stuff like that sticks with you,
Mhm.
And it's just, I don't even want to believe that she's gone right now. I'm having a hard time with that.
Mhm.
And I don't know where to go from here.
So you said she's usually like that. Did something change, or was that just the wording that you used?
No, like 9 times out of 10, she was always bubbly,
Okay.
So it's one of those people who you just wanted to be around, and radiated her good vibes
Mhm.
to everybody. And it's just, these are the things I need to remember, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And it was just one of those things where you were just like, finally I found that person.
Mhm.
And now it seems like my life's been stripped away from me. And I don't know why or how or if there is a God, why he would do this. And I'm having a hard time now with my own faith,
Yeah, for sure.
which is what I talked to him about. It's
Yeah.
just-
He's definitely the one with the answers on all that.
he had none really. I was like, he was like, well, maybe you should talk to your pastor, Jeff.
Yeah.
So
What about physical ailments? Did she have anything going on as far as anything she took medication for? Was she sick at
back
all?
about a year ago, she used to take medication.
Mhm.
Celexa or something like that.
Mhm.
But she got off it because it didn't make her feel right. As far as why, I guess she had really bad anxiety
Mhm.
because her last relationship, I guess, was a bad one. There's a lot of abuse.
Mhm.
And I kind of got her out of that, kind of got her out of her shell. So she was able to function without that.
Here is a second red flag. Johansen controlled the medication that Salenza took, which likely put her into a more easily manipulated mental state.
No illnesses, nothing like cancer or
No.
anything like that. She wasn't sick, wasn't seeing a doctor.
No.
So
No.
nothing going on that
She
would
was-
affect her.
Thinking about going back to a doctor
Mhm.
to get out her. I guess she had this one thing in here that prevents her from having a kid. And we wanted
yeah.
to start and maybe have a kid.
Oh my gosh.
So she had like the implant,
Yeah.
but nothing else going on. She wasn't taking medication currently.
No.
And she was still her bubbly personality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll be honest with you. She switched from the pill and started smoking weed
okay.
to make, you know what I mean? All natural, less side effects,
Sure.
stuff like that.
Sure. And what would you say her weed habit was? Was it just
It was daily.
recreational
Yeah,
daily?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So how about this week? So today is Saturday.
Yeah.
Did anything happen over the last couple days in her life that was out of the ordinary?
In her life?
Or your life, either one?
Not really. I mean, she had a tough time with, because of Ryland's dad wasn't paying, stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, here and there. I mean, just regular life crap, as far as I know, and she was kind of standoffish though for a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
But
Why
that's
is
about
that?
it. I don't know.
Did you talk to her about it?
Yeah, and she was just like, it's nothing. So,
Well, you seem like a very overly loving and compassionate
Yes.
guy. I feel
Yes,
like
I
that
am.
would be something that you would ask repeatedly,
So
or at
it-
least
it
ask
was.
until you find out. So I don't feel like that's
I didn't want to push her. I didn't want to push the issue.
Mhm.
But I figured it was because of the daughter that she lost. That's what I kind of figured. But I'm not sure.
How did you figure that?
Because that's the only time she would really get down in the dumps. In town, then she would go and then she was all right after. As far as I know.
When did that happen?
I don't know, a couple days ago.
I mean, when did she
Oh.
lose the baby?
Oh shit. Before we were together, I guess that was part of the abusive relationship,
Mm-hmm.
is the baby died as well.
Okay.
So,
Did you ever get an answer out of her why she was standoffish, or did you have any ideas in your mind of, other than the baby, of what you thought it might be?
just besides the fact that it could have been the baby.
Yeah.
That was the thing that brought her down the most. And it was only like once in a great while. So I just figured, maybe the baby, She didn't really want to talk about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to push those issues because, losing a kid is,
It's tough.
it's quite traumatic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she had been going to a therapist about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then she just stopped going because it was like, he tells me the same thing over and over again.
Sure.
So,
All right, so tell me about your marriage. Were you guys faithful with one another? Was it just a...
for the most part, yeah. She had this online thing, you know what I mean, that she admitted to. I've been flirting online, but whoopee, who cares? You didn't do nothing physically.
Right. When did that happen?
Last week, I'll say. Last week, and I was like, okay, so, and I guess she had said that all of her life she had had that problem and she was addicted and she was going to see if she could see help.
Johansen was convinced that Salenza was being unfaithful, but there was no evidence to support his suspicions.
Sure.
Which ain't a big deal to me. I mean, it's
Right.
not like I'm going to meet up with somebody,
Yeah, sure.
So that's about it with that. But our relationship-wise, awesome. Awesome relationship. We can talk to each other, which is very rare.
Yeah, that is rare. What did she tell you about this online thing? How was she speaking to someone else?
I don't know.
Do you know, was it on Facebook?
I
Was
don't
she
know
on
if
a
it was a
dating
guy or
site?
girl or I don't know.
Why would you say guy or girl? Is she interested in women or?
She used to be in the past. That's why I said that.
Okay.
So I don't know, which one, what was said, how was said, nothing.
How did you find out? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You didn't want to know? I think if it was me, I would want to know.
Brandy's the kind of person who you let deal with it in her own mind or head, and she'll come and tell you.
How did you come to find out about it last week?
She told me. She straight up told me. She was like, hey, I got something to tell you. This is that.
Like just out of guilt or something, she just...
I guess so. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so what did she tell you?
It was like, you know, a few months back, you know what I mean, I was talking to this person, blah, 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 you know, and I guess she sent a picture or two to an online something, and that was about it. You know, I was like, well, I've dated in my past when I was single and stuff like that too, so who cares? And we pretty much left it alone. You know, and she was like, I just wanted to tell you before somebody contacted you, which is actually rather noble.
Well, listen, thank you for telling us about that.
Okay.
Thank you. I just, a lot of times, there's, you know, thank you for telling us about the weed. Like, a lot of times people...
Listen, I'm an honest person.
Hey, so I appreciate that, because then, you know, somebody leaves something like that out, and then it's just like, why would you... Like, we don't care.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I appreciate
I mean,
that.
I also, don't get me wrong, I smoke as well for my medical reasons.
Yeah, no one cares.
Okay?
Appreciate
Straight up.
That gives, you know,
I mean,
a little credibility, because a lot of people will lie about that.
there's
small
nothing to
stuff.
lie about. I mean, there's
No,
weed pipes all over my house, man. You know? Anything else?
So back to this whole online relationship thing.
Okay.
What social media accounts does she have that you know of?
I know she has Facebook.
Mhm.
Accounts wise, who knows? We just got brand new phones.
Mhm.
I know she has Google.
Mhm.
I know she has Facebook. And she said she deleted all of the old accounts that she was doing stuff on. So I don't know.
Like what?
I can't tell you. I don't know.
How about Instagram?
I don't think so.
Snap?
Nope.
No.
That I know of.
Okay.
People can hide things. You know?
Sure. When did you guys get your new phones?
I don't know, a week or two ago, maybe more. We've had an issue with it this past month. We got a bunch of Samsung S7s that didn't work with our network.
Oh wow.
So we're in the process of sending them back to get our money back. So we just went out and bought new phones, I'd say last week or the week before, one of the two.
Okay. So you said this conversation happened about a week ago with her online, whatever she was doing.
She brought something up a couple days ago.
Uh-huh.
And we had a little argument, but then that was that.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. She was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I was like, okay.
What is this and that?
She was gonna get rid of everything.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, well, make sure you do so. And, you know, it's on you if you don't. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't know because obviously you hit it for the song. You know, I wouldn't know if you did or not, but I hope you do. You know? She was like, okay, cool. And we had arguments here and there, you know what I mean? She would be like, I'm sorry, I'll stop. Yeah, you know?
Can I say something without
Sure.
being disrespectful? Okay. So I've been doing this job for a long time, and I know that somebody in your position would never want to talk negatively about somebody who's dead.
Sure.
And I also have been in your position on the receiving end of finding things out about a spouse
Sure.
who's not being faithful and communicating with someone.
I wouldn't say that's not faithful.
Well, I mean, but it's probably
Sure.
not the best thing. So with that being said, coming from me, and I may just be an emotional female, I'm not sure, but I don't feel like I would have handled that conversation the way that you're conveying it. Is there any chance that you're conveying it differently because you don't want to speak
I have
negatively about
handled
her?
it in the past before.
Uh-huh.
So I know how to handle these kinds of things.
With her or someone else?
No, with my past relationships.
Okay.
So I know how to handle these kinds of things. And really, I didn't think it was that bad since in the past they actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know what I mean? And everybody has their background demons and ghosts.
Sure.
I mean, they do. You know, and I'm the kind of person who, you know, suck it up, you know what I mean? And usually my vibe goes to somebody else's vibe, and it works well, you know? But yeah, I mean, I wasn't angry about it because number one, you were honest with me.
Sure.
Do you know how much that takes to be honest with somebody like that? And yes, it hurt me a little bit, but I respected her because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, boom, watch, boom, watch, boom, watch, boom, watch. All these emails, I guess.
What does that mean?
She was deleting them when she said that she was going to, which makes me feel better, which made me feel better anyway.
Yeah. Did you see where these emails were coming from?
Nope. You know, and it's not like,
When was she deleting them? When did that happen?
I don't know, a couple days ago.
Okay.
You know, and it wasn't like it was the worst thing in the world, you know, and I respected her and was actually proud of her for actually doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, the next few days were awesome. I mean, awesome. We hung out with our friends, we watched movies, we hung out with kids, you know what I mean? So it was going better, yes.
Okay. So you said about a week ago, she just came to you out of the blue and said, I want to confess to you, or how did that happen?
Not confessed, she was like, I got something to tell you. And I was like, okay. And she was like, you ain't gonna like this. I was like, okay, what? She's like, this is what I've been doing, this is what I'm gonna do about it. And I was like, okay.
And what is this is what I've been doing? What did she explain to you?
That she's been chatting with a person or people she didn't specify.
Mm-hmm.
That she had been doing that, but hasn't did that for the past month.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we're starting a new life and everything's new, she just wanted to get that off her chest.
What happened to where you guys needed to start a new life? What were you restarting?
Oh, a new house. A new house. We're gonna renew our vows soon and have a real marriage.
Mhm.
That's what that pertains to.
So you guys have only been married for a year.
Mhm.
So what happened on your initial marriage? Why so soon would you need a new one?
I found that person. The last one was, her name was Stacy,
Mhm.
and she was heavily addicted to drugs and abusive.
Okay.
So I got out of it.
Sure.
6 months or so later is when me and Miss Brandy met up.
Mhm.
And then from there on, boom. You know, it was just like, I don't know, my best friend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the kind of person she was, like I was saying, the kind of person she was just radiated towards me. You know, and we both kind of made the decision is, hey, let's not go through life alone.
Sure.
You know, our kids get along great, we get along great, let's do this.
You have more children too?
I have a daughter.
Where is she?
She is with her mom. I only get her on weekends.
Okay. How old is she?
She is 10.
And you don't have her this weekend?
No, I do. I think my mom has her right now.
Oh, was she at the home?
No.
Oh, okay. So
No,
you
I think
weren't.
she stayed at my mom's last night, and then I would get her today and tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, other than the 2 conversations that you and Brandy had about this online relationship, did you talk about it at all? What was
Let
you
it go.
guys? You just let it go.
Let it go. And that's what she recommended too. Okay, I'm just gonna let this go, and we're gonna just continue like it didn't happen.
Did you have any concern, maybe even just in the back of your mind, that she was going to be unfaithful at all?
She didn't seem like that kind of person.
Mhm.
I doubt she would do anything like physically.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? She just wasn't that type of person, which kind of shocked me that she even told me that. I was like, really? She's like, yeah. You know, and basically we let it go so we could move on
Mhm.
with life.
Okay.
You know, and I was like, you were noble enough to tell me something that happened months ago. You know, cool.
Mhm.
You know, what am I gonna do about it then? You know, if anything, if I was that upset, I would have just went and got a divorce.
Sure.
I mean, you know, but everybody has skeletons in the closet.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
she released one. Maybe that was the only skeleton. You know, and she felt a lot better because of it. I could tell because how she perked up the next day and was on point being the wife and loved me, and you know what I mean? So I was actually letting it go, and she let it go as well.
Well, that's good. That's good. Anything else significant happen in the last couple of days?
We went and had fun last night. We were on our back on hammocks with a friend, and we watched a movie and all that stuff, and we both just let it go.
Who's that friend?
Her name is Joanna.
Okay.
I don't know her last name. She works at Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
It's one of her good friends. And she was over a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
And we winded up on the couch watching a movie. We were both kind of passing out, so Joanna left, and we passed out.
What movie were you guys watching?
We watched 3 of them, actually. And one of them was, what the hell's it called? It's the new one, the new Jumanji.
Oh.
Which is nothing like the old one, guys. it's nothing like the old one. Don't expect a little kid to understand it, because it's got like adult humor, but they wouldn't know what it was.
Sure.
But that one was good, and then something else that she wanted to watch, and then I passed out halfway through it. So,
Which Dunkin' did she work at?
the one not too far from my place, right up by the Bells and stuff.
Okay, on Old King?
Yeah.
How long did she work there?
She worked there for, I want to say 6 months to a year. And
How
then,
long ago?
I don't know, over a year ago.
And you said she was trying to go back recently?
Yeah, she was trying to do something within serving-wise,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what she liked to do. She was a happy, bubbly person, so she was good for the customers, you see?
Right.
And that's what everybody loved about her.
Mhm.
And she wanted to do something like that. But she made a few applications here and there, you know. That's about it.
What time was it that Joanna left last night?
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. Late 10, 11, maybe? It could have even been 12, I don't know.
And then right after that, what did you and Brandy do?
Smoked a joint and passed out.
Sounds like a good night.
Yeah, I'm just telling you the truth, man.
Hey, no, I'm fine with that. Sounds like you probably had some good sleep.
And then I woke up about 2.
AM?
Huh?
AM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I woke up about 2, and we moved into our bed,
Mhm.
and we both passed out. Because my back hurts, because as you know, I got back issues.
Yeah, sure.
So,
And then what time did you guys wake up today?
I don't know what time she woke up. I woke up, I don't know, 9-ish, 10-ish, I don't know. Then then it was like, because she had to deal with Rylan.
Mm-hmm.
So she dealt with Rylan. I passed back out. She woke me up and said, hey, here's some coffee. And I was like, I don't want coffee. And I was like, I want to take a shower. And then that's when I went to take my shower.
Okay. Did you guys eat breakfast together today or
Didn't have
anything
time.
like that?
Didn't have time, because when I was in my shower, that's when the incident happened.
Okay, so she came in, woke you up, said she's gonna make breakfast, and you immediately went
Took a
in the shower?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which bathroom was that in?
Ours.
The master bathroom?
Yeah.
Is there a master bathroom? Is it attached to? I haven't been there.
Yeah, here's the door, here's a closet, and here's the master bathroom. So it's like, I don't know, within what, maybe 20 feet?
Okay, so you took a shower or took a bath?
I took a shower.
So, okay.
I had to
About,
replace the curtain too, because it wasn't clipped right.
Okay.
you replaced the curtain today?
No.
Oh.
No, because when she did it, she was kind of short.
Uh-huh.
She couldn't clip them up all the way, so I had to re-clip them
When did you do that?
while I was in the shower.
Oh, today.
Oh.
Gotcha. I was so confused. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Last thing I remember her saying is walking in there, peeking through the thing and saying, ha ha ha. And I was like, all right. And that's the last thing I remember. And then right after that, maybe 2-3 minutes after that, I heard a pop. I thought it was Rylan with an air balloon.
Mhm.
You know, and I heard a pop, but it was louder.
Are there balloons in there?
There was.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what the heck? And I walked out, and it was her laying there, and I immediately slid across the floor, found my phone, and called 911.
Okay. So do you have guns in the home?
Yeah,
Okay. And where do you keep them?
on the side of the bed.
Can you explain that to me?
Okay. When you're looking at it from walking in the door, the right side in the actual between the bed and the wood.
Okay, so I'm a very visual person, and I've not seen your bedroom before. Can I get a piece of paper and have you
Sure.
draw that for me? Because I'm
Sure.
I'm gonna get lost, and then I feel stupid, and I don't like to feel stupid. So let me get that. On paper.
Okay. Her good attitude is really keeping me fine. I appreciate that.
No problem, man.
And after all this, Ben can be around and go to my family.
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's probably wondering what the hell I am.
Well, he knows you're here. He knows
Okay,
you're
okay, so he knows
Yeah.
I'm here with him.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's okay. They got a special little room over on the other side of the building, and they got a bunch of books and toys and
Good. So he knows I'm here then, so he don't feel like he's
Yes.
alone. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Okay, so however you want to do the page, if you'll just write like notes of what you're drawing, just in
Okay, so
case you're as good of an
from
artist
the
as
door. There. I'm gonna write. Here's the hallway, right? Ryland's room is right here, so I'm gonna put an R. Okay.
Okay.
Ours is right here, so I'm gonna put M for master.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the door. All right. You walk in, and here's our bed.
Okay.
Here's my entertainment center. I put it in the right or the left hand between the bed and where the frame hits with the wood.
Okay,
They both fit right in there perfectly.
and you have both guns in that spot.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, right here. Where when here's the bathroom. When I walked out of the bathroom, she was laying right here by my nightstand.
Okay.
And yes, both guns were on the floor.
Okay.
So what I figure now that I got to think about it
Uh-huh.
is that maybe she was trying to move them, or she slipped, or I don't know. But it was within that area. So your guess is as good as mine, really. I know that she would never do it on purpose.
Do what on purpose? I'm sorry.
Like she would never try to kill herself or nothing like that.
Right.
But there was one laying right here and one right here. And when I went this way, I kicked one out of the way a little bit because they said to get to her to try to cover any wound.
Mhm.
And I was slipping around and I couldn't get to her. And they were yelling at me because I couldn't get to her and apply any pressure.
Okay. So you didn't apply any pressure to her?
No, I didn't touch her, period.
Johansen refused to try to help Salenza. He claimed he was worried that he would slip and fall, which might hurt her further.
How often does she touch the guns?
Oh, she has her own too. Often, like she would move one, or if we were out in the living room, she would take one with her, and just to have one around.
So those two guns, were they hers or yours?
They were mine and hers, kind of. I bought them because she bought one at a different store, which was, that one is in my safe at this point. They were both mine. One was a Beretta and one was a Canic, and they were both 9mm.
Okay. And so they were in between the bed frame and the mattress. Did they have holsters, or were they just...
No. One of them may have, my Canic may have, but I know the Beretta didn't. No.
Okay. So you just had the two guns open in between the bed frame and
Yeah.
the mattress.
Correct.
And with them there, were you concerned that them not being in a holster, they would go off, or did they have
Not at all.
safeties?
One of them had a safety, one didn't.
Okay.
The one that didn't usually was never cocked.
Okay.
Because of that fact. And all my other guns have 2 or 3 rounds in them that are rubber.
Oh, why?
Just for, in case something, you have a misfire or whatever. If someone was to rob us or whatever, I don't want to kill them. I mean, honestly, I don't want to kill them.
Sure.
I just want to prevent them. That's what they're made for. Less than lethal. It's made for a preventative reasons.
Salenza was shot twice in the chest. The first bullet was rubber, and the second was a 9mm.
How many guns do you have at the house?
Oh shit. Let me see. Ruger. Well, Ruger's hers. The Beretta. The Canic. My 45. My shotgun. And an AR.
And those are all where?
They're all in my safes.
Okay, so
Except for the two.
everything else is locked up except for those two
Correct.
guns.
Correct.
And that was normal for them to be in that location?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you say the reasoning was you kept those two out?
Just to have out, there was, just for protection wise. Because let's say something was to happen in the middle of the night or whatever, someone was trying to rob you, we just moved there, so we don't even know the people around us.
Sure.
Easy access.
Whose side of the bed is that?
Mine.
That's yours?
Mine.
And you said,
Well, mine and hers, we kind of switch depending on how my back feels.
uh-huh.
Her side, because she's not as heavy, is a little more stable. My side is a little more dibby.
So you said this is the doorway here, so you would almost be facing the door and you would have to reach down with your...
I would be facing the door. Right here, there's a wall.
Okay.
Alright, and this is the closet. So basically with the door shut, I'd be facing this way.
Okay, so this is another wall here.
It's a wall, when you walk in the door,
Mhm.
there's a wall here. This is the hallway.
Okay.
So there's a wall here, and this is my closet, and this is the bathroom.
But what I'm saying is the area where she was found,
Sure.
there's another wall
Yes,
between the bed
between
and her.
Ryland's room and our room, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So she wakes you up.
Hmm?
You get in the shower. You said she came in and messed with you in the shower. Okay. And then what happened?
And then about 3 minutes later, I heard pop. I was like, what the heck? You know what I mean? So I just thought, oh, it was a fucking balloon. Then I heard a pop, pop. Just, that's how it went. Pop, pop. And I was like, something's wrong. Went out, slipped across the floor, was looking around. I didn't see her at first. And then I was like, what the heck, man? And I looked over and she was laying right there. Like this.
Mhm.
And I was like, Brandy! Brandy! And at that point, there was no blood or nothing. I was like, Brandy! Brandy! And then I looked out and seen the guns, and I immediately called 911. I mean, immediately.
Did you hear a scream or anything?
No scream, no nothing, no.
Okay.
No. And it was very weird because there was no scream, because I figured if you would have accidentally shot the gun or whatever, something would have been audible.
Mhm.
And no, there's no scream, just her laying there going, that's what I knew.
You knew what?
I knew that something was wrong, that she had accidentally got shot, and I didn't know where, so I was kind of checking because they told me, hey, do you see any wounds? Do you see anything? And I was like, no, because I didn't from the front. I couldn't see nothing. They were like, apply pressure to a wound. I was like, I'm slipping all over the place here, man. I just got out of the shower, you know what I mean? I was like, I don't see no wound and I don't want to touch her. And then that's when they said, hey, a responder's at your door. And I was like, okay. I ran across there, let him in.
Who do you think accidentally shot her?
Not me. Herself. I figured she was trying to, how it looked to me is she was maybe move them or trying to move them
Mhm.
or I don't know. I wish you guys would tell me. I just can't put no damn sense into it. She's usually like very careful around them.
Mhm.
But they were new. So
Who knows?
Well, and for her to have accidentally shot herself, which with what you already told us, she would have either had to taken the safety off of one,
Okay.
or she would have had to cock it back of the other one.
If it was cocked or not, I don't know.
Okay,
Usually they weren't, for the side of safety.
sure.
One gun being accidentally discharged is rare, but still within the realm of possibility. Johansen tries to act as if it's a perfectly reasonable theory, but the facts just don't add up.
But, I don't know. I wasn't the only one with the access to it. I don't recall cocking it back myself.
Can I just ask you a question?
Sure.
So most of your guns have the rubber rounds in them?
Yeah.
So all of them except for those two have the rubber rounds?
Yes. I ran out of them. I didn't have enough to put in them.
Okay.
When was the last time you actually dealt with those guns?
I would move them every day.
Okay,
The last time was, middle of the day yesterday.
okay.
It
When was
was
the
only
last time?
mechanic.
When was the last time you actually shot a gun?
The last time I shot the guns,
A gun?
a week
A week ago?
or so, we went out to Flagler Estates.
Okay.
That's where we'd go and do our range practices and stuff.
Where do you go out there?
Kirshner, all the way to the end. There's like a little head-up range. I'm sure you guys know about it.
Yeah, sure.
Right there.
Okay. And you said that was a week ago?
Or so.
Okay. Any chance that Rylan could have gotten a hold of the gun? Where was
No
he?
way. He knows to stay out of our room.
Okay.
He knows why. There's no way. When I came out, after I called 911, I went to go see him. He said, stay here. I didn't tell him why, of course.
Sure.
Stay here, and he was on his bed, right? Because he's our wall, and here's him. He's right on his bed,
Sure.
watching TV.
And he wasn't in the room
No.
at all?
No.
He didn't see her at all?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
He didn't tell me about it.
Did he, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
did he know that she shot herself? That she shot herself? Did he know she was shot in any way? No.
What have you told him so far?
I told him that an accident happened, and hey, officers were on their way.
Okay.
That's all that was said to him that I know, unless an officer or he heard something from somebody else.
I forgot. Did you ask him to call 911?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I did.
Okay.
He has no access to that. I mean, he's 6.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, how is he, you know what I mean? Like, what's he gonna say if you don't know why? You know?
All right. So this is where I have to ask you a couple detailed questions, and like I said, I don't want you to be uncomfortable. If at any time you want to take a break, you want to smoke, I have no
I just want
issues
to go
with
away
that.
so I can see my
Yeah.
family.
So you came out of the bathroom after you
Sure.
heard the shots,
Mhm.
and tell me in as much detail as you can what you saw, what you heard, what you smelled, everything about the scene, so that I can try and
Okay.
be in it with you.
Well, I heard pop, pop. Went out of the shower, right?
Did you
Looked
get a
over.
towel?
No.
Okay.
Actually, no. And when I got out of the shower, my wood floor slipped. Whoa. And then I was like, what the heck? What the heck? What was that? And looked over, and she was, and I was like, oh no, Brandy, stay with me. And that's when I called. I smelled, I don't know what I smelled. I wasn't trying. I smelled her in the coffee pot. I smelled the coffee.
Mhm.
But I wasn't paying too much detail to what I smelled. What I heard was just pop, pop.
And you thought it was balloons?
I thought the first pop, yes.
Okay.
I thought it was a balloon.
Describe to me what her body looked like.
Her body, man, I don't even want to go into this detail because it was horrible. Her body was right here between the bed
Mhm.
and my dresser.
Mhm.
And it was back, but in a way that it was back like almost in the corner. And her eyes were open,
Mhm.
and I said, "Hey, hey," and she was non-responsive.
Mhm.
Then I seen her eyes roll back, and then I called my mom immediately. I mean, that's just from really quick viewing.
What was she wearing?
I can't even remember what she was wearing, the stuff that she went to bed in,
Mhm.
you know, just night stuff. She hadn't got up and gotten wholly dressed yet, I don't think, unless she did it while I was in the shower.
And was she standing up when you saw her?
No,
Okay. How was she?
she was just down like this, like she was leaning against it,
Against what? I'm sorry.
against a little bit against the bed, but a little bit against, because right behind our bed has a window.
Mhm.
So in between my nightstand and my bed.
Okay, so in between the nightstand and the bed, and
Correct.
there's a window back there.
Correct.
Did it look like she hit her head or anything, or she was just laying there?
No, she's just laying there.
What did you see on her body?
Just her clothes. I believe her shirt was striped.
Okay.
Just her clothes and the two guns right next to her.
Okay, so if her body is here, her head is up here,
Okay.
is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so with her body, where were the guns?
One was like, I mean, it's really small in there.
It's okay.
One was like right here, and one looked like it was right here by my dresser.
So if you can describe it to me by her parts of her body,
Okay.
what were the guns closest to?
Her feet, like she dropped them.
Mhm.
So it's closer to her feet.
Can you use a separate piece of paper
Here's,
and maybe do like her body bigger the way she was laying and then where the guns were in relation to that?
I'm not a good drawer.
Oh no, just stick figure is fine.
Okay. Her.
Okay.
Right? The side of my bed.
Okay.
My dresser. Okay?
Okay.
She was leaned up in the, like right here, almost, here's the window.
Okay.
Right here. And there was a gun that looked like it was here, and one over here, I believe. I'm not sure, because when I rushed in here, one slipped. So it was, I mean, it was still in the same area, but one slipped, and it was more liquid right there.
One slipped how?
Because my foot hit it, because I was slipping all over the damn place.
Oh, okay.
Were you wearing shoes?
No.
And so your foot hit the gun and the one on the right,
Yes.
and it moved off a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, and what did you have on?
Huh?
What did you have on?
Nothing.
Okay. Were you
Nothing
dressed
at
by
all.
the time the deputies got there?
Yeah, I grabbed the pants when they said that he was at the door.
Okay.
I grabbed my pants and pulled them up and even answered the door like this. Soaking wet.
Where did you grab your pants from?
From right down the floor.
Okay. So you didn't take any clothes into the shower with you?
No.
No.
I usually don't. I mean, it's in our room.
It's your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did she say anything to you?
Nothing. I tried to say, Brandy, 911's coming, 911's coming. And that's it. Which is the most horrible sound you can ever hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hope nobody has to hear that ever.
I think we both heard it. It's definitely
Oh,
not.
man.
It's definitely not anything you want to hear.
Absolutely
But
not.
when it's your significant other, it's probably a little bit different.
Absolutely, man.
So you come out, you see this.
Mhm.
Did you touch her at all?
Nope. And that's what the 911 responder was yelling at me about.
Okay. So you said something earlier about not wanting to wash because you had blood on yourself.
Oh, on my finger.
Where did that come from?
Me?
I'm sorry, I'm confused.
I said I don't know if it's her blood or my blood. That's
Okay.
just me.
So how would you have her blood on you?
I don't know. I was near her, but not that close.
One of the inconsistencies in Johansen's story is his proximity to Salenza's body. Sometimes he says he never went near her, and others he was hovering over her by mere inches.
Okay, maybe I'm not asking the question the right way. What would have happened to where you would have her blood on you?
I don't think it is. As you see, I was bleeding from here.
Okay.
But they said to lean over her, and I leaned over her, but I did not touch her at all.
I mean, was she squirting blood? Or?
No, it just looked like there was maybe, a little one here, one here, one here, but it didn't look
It's not like it is in the movies.
No, it's not at all. There was no blood on the floor. It didn't look like she was bleeding bad.
Okay.
I don't know where it hit her. And I was flipped out, man, And I immediately called 911, was like, hey, man, this is what happened. You need to hear now.
Mm-hmm.
And then 911 response was very quick. Within maybe 2-3 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
boom, they were at the front door.
How many injuries did you see?
None. I just seen blood spots. That's it.
How many blood spots did you see?
2 or once. Yeah, just her hand. I think was on this side.
Okay.
Her hand was close to it, I believe, and just 2 little. I mean, not even little. That's why I was like, help her. Dude, you have a chance to help her, man. And
Who did you say that to?
the very first officer, I was like, help her now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, dude, the EMT's on the way. And I was like, help her, please. And he rushed me out immediately.
Okay. So you didn't see anything else wrong with her, and she didn't speak to you at all?
Nope, non-responsive.
Okay. Can you tell me in as much detail as you can, in your mind, what you think really happened?
In my mind, what I think happened, from where she was and the way she was, is maybe she was trying to make our bed, and she grabbed him, and when she grabbed him, one went off, and she dropped the other, or them both. I have no idea. But it was just, you don't think you're gonna get out of the damn shower and see this.
No.
Immediately when I seen her down, I know that she had accidentally let off a round. And that's what I think happened. Of course, I don't know because I wasn't there for sure. But that's what I would think would happen. Why she'd be moving them makes sense.
Mm.
Why she did move them, I have no idea. Only she knows that. And that's the only thing that I can think of.
How familiar with guns is she?
She's newer
Okay.
to it. We've only went 4 or 5 times over to that range.
How familiar with guns are you?
Very.
Very familiar.
I went through
So-
classes. I used to be a armed security, stuff like that back in my past.
Where did you work for that?
What was it? Security concepts.
Okay. So in your extensive gun career,
I don't know about extensive, but
well, I mean, you're more familiar than she is. How often does it happen that somebody accidentally shoots themselves twice?
I don't know if she was shot once or twice. I don't know.
Well, you said it went off twice.
Yes. I don't know. If she dropped the other one, it happens.
Sure.
I have never heard of it being like that unless you drop it.
Right. Heard of it being like what? I'm sorry.
Like AMS fire or whatever you call them. Unless you drop it.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only way, unless you pull the trigger again. I mean, that's just common sense. That's about it. I mean, that's the only possible ways it could happen.
Okay. And there definitely was nobody else in the home, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Me, Ryland, and her. That's it.
All right.
Did you look?
I don't even know where he was shot at all.
Did you look at all? I mean, was there? When the cops got there, the door, you unlocked the door and everything. It was just
Sure.
you guys in the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the back door was open. The sliding door, but that's always open, and then he'd go out there and smoke cigarettes and stuff. So.
Okay. Right.
Is there anything else that you can think of that you think is important for our investigation?
As far as
As far as anything, as far as getting justice for your wife?
better gun control schools. Better gun control schools, readily available.
What in the world does that have to do with this?
What? No, because if she knew better gun control, you know, it probably wouldn't have happened.
Okay. And you said you don't know where her injuries were, correct?
No,
But at one point you said her hand was over them.
I said her hand was to her side like this, I believe.
Okay. And you saw two blood spots?
Yeah, but very,
somewhere?
very, very little.
And was that on her clothes or on her body?
Her clothes.
Okay. And was the person on the phone, the dispatcher, telling you to do anything
Yeah.
for her?
Hold
Or
pressure on wherever you see, and I was even telling them, you can even listen to it, as I don't see anything.
okay.
I don't see anything.
So let me ask you this question: what makes you think she was shot?
That's a good question. The pops,
Okay.
the guns laying there.
Okay.
Besides that, I mean, one is to assume.
Okay. So you don't know for sure
Mm-mm.
that she was shot?
No.
Okay. Is there anything else in your house that would make a sound like that?
Something falling on the wood floor, maybe.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know, anything. Those floors are new and they're loud. Something that may have fell over. It could be anything.
Was anything knocked over when you came out? Did you see
I
anything?
didn't pay attention for that.
Okay. Okay, so this is her,
Mhm.
and the guns are down here. How were they positioned? Can you show me that?
I don't know exactly how they were positioned. I know that one was in this area, and one was in this area.
Okay.
Not too far from her.
All right. Trying to think what else that I want to ask you. Can you give me just a second?
Yeah.
I want to better familiarize myself with what it actually looks like in your room.
Okay.
So I'm going to go look at the photos that were taken.
Okay.
You want to take a break and
Sure, have a cigarette?
sure. You okay with that?
Yeah, just
I mean, I can't remember that.
No, that's okay. Are you going with him, George?
Hey, you hungry? No? Okay.
Just give me more time.
Yeah, you're right. No, he's good.
That'll take even more time.
Sure.
So I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate everything that we have talked about so far.
Yeah, you guys what you said too.
You know, and I want you to know that we understand that this is a horrible situation, and I don't want you to feel like that I'm asking you all these questions to be difficult or to be rude or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. We just,
I mean, when I say I don't know, I really don't know. I mean, it happened too quick to have detail,
yeah.
you know, and it's just I want to know why,
Sure.
you know.
So we're at the point in the conversation now where I really appreciate your honesty.
Thank you.
And I feel like you have been honest up to this point about your relationship with Brandy and about your love for Brandy. I mean, I can see it in your face.
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah, how much you love her. And I can also see...
She loved me just as much though.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I can see that very clearly from what you've told us so far. So, with that being said, I think that we're at the point of where we need to have a little bit of a harder conversation.
Okay.
Because as much as I want to believe that the guns fell and went off and shot her, what we have at the scene just doesn't show that. So I want to keep our relationship open and honest, and I want to be able to respect you, and I want to be able to preserve the love that you have
Sure.
for Brandy,
Yeah.
and I also want to give Brandy the justice that she deserves, and I think we need to have a harder conversation.
Go for it.
Can I just,
Sure.
what is your relationship like with her family?
Okay.
Okay. I just, and one of the things, like I touched on when we went outside real quick.
Her mom don't like me, I don't like her, but
And there you go. So, and a lot of us have those type of in-law relationships.
Sure.
Even that, you're on your best behavior for holidays or whatever, and or whatever. When things like this happen, family members can be accusatory.
of course.
I'm positive that you already understand.
Yeah.
Okay?
I do.
We have a certain amount of liability on us.
Sure.
Okay? We have to do certain things. And it's not because it's easy for us. It's hard to talk to somebody who just lost their wife and ask them shitty questions that we don't even want to bother you with.
Sure.
But we know what happens the day after. The day after and the weeks after, if the families have all these questions.
Sure.
We have to be
I
able
would
to
have a bunch
say,
of questions.
we have to be able to show them a checklist and say, we cross this off, we cross this off, we cross this off.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure you understand
Sure.
that. And you understand the reasoning
Stuff that
behind it.
needs to be asked. I mean,
And if you have any questions about it, like we'll talk about it, because we're just trying to cross the stuff off the checklist so that next week or whatever, if when her her family or her brother or whoever it is says, well, you guys just brought him in and gave him Mountain Dews and whatever, and you just giving him Pink Floyd T-shirts and you guys don't even care. You know what I'm saying?
makes me nauseous.
I know. So that's where we're at. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that off. All right.
Is there any chance at all
Huh?
that something different happened that you have not told us?
None. Because that's what happened. I got no reason to lie to you guys. I mean, you guys are investigators, for God's sake. That's what I seen, and that's what I heard.
Well, I mean, you said you have no reason to lie. I mean, I'm not saying that you're flat out lying to us. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Okay.
What I am saying is that what we have at the scene
Okay.
does not add up to what you're telling us. I want to believe you. I do. And I want to keep this relationship going that we have so that it's not difficult for you. I don't want to add to the trauma that you've already gone through. I really
It's all
don't.
gonna be difficult.
Well, yes, but you can make it easier for yourself. We cannot.
Sure.
If after we leave out of this room today, I'm able to say that I feel comfortable with everything that we've talked about, you'll never have to see me again.
Okay.
And at this point, I don't feel comfortable with that.
That's fine. You can investigate as much as you want.
And we're going to.
It's fine.
But this is your opportunity to help yourself and to lay it all out for us. Because there's a backstory. This isn't the story.
This is the story. And I'll get a lawyer and I will prove that this is the real story.
Okay? And you are completely entitled to that.
Ask Rylan. I mean, that's all that happened.
We did ask him.
Okay.
And you know what he told us? Do you want to know?
Yeah, because I wasn't up. So,
He told us that he heard his mom scream.
I heard no screams. At all. None.
Why would he make that up?
Ask him.
Is he a liar?
He has been known to tell fibs, yes.
Does he tell you on the regular that his mom screams in the bedroom?
No.
Has he ever told you that his mom screams and it was a lie?
No, not screaming, but he lies about a bunch of other different things. You can ask his real father, and he'll tell you that too.
So why on this date would he lie about his mom screaming in the bedroom?
You guys can try to pin whatever you want on me. She didn't scream.
Listen, dude, nobody's trying to pin anything on you.
I'm just telling you what I heard, man. That's it. What I heard, what I seen. I mean, if you're trying to pin something on me, why would I have called 911?
You have a conscience. That's why. You love your wife. That's why.
So why would...
Shit happens in the heat of the moment. You're not a bad person. You're not a fucking monster.
I would never do anything like that.
Accidents
and I
happen.
feel kind of offended.
I feel offended too, if we're going to go to that level.
I feel really offended that you guys can try to pin an accident on me.
No.
Oh, I thought that's what you were getting at with it. I was
Not
like,
at all. If an accident happened,
Sure.
we are more than willing to listen to that. But what I'm telling you is what you're conveying as the accident that happened isn't the accident that happened. If something else happened that was accidental,
Sure.
we could lay that out and I would be happy to listen to it. I am not saying that you're a murderer.
No.
I am not saying that you're a bad person, but what I am saying is with my training, my experience, and the crime scene,
Sure.
the accident that you're laying out isn't the one that happened.
Well, that's what I seen.
The detectives were in contact with the forensics team, who told them that there was no way that Johansen's story could be true. The position of Salenza's body, the wounds, and the weapons were not consistent with someone accidentally shooting himself.
When I came up, that's what I seen.
No, it's hard.
It's very hard.
I know it is. Okay.
And I can't tell you something that I don't know. I'm not gonna make up stuff. I just can't. Well, you can test me for gunpowder, go ahead. I don't care. Do whatever test you need. I do not have nothing that I haven't told you. I haven't stepped out of my box and told you stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that took a lot, you know?
Sure.
And I don't know how you're telling me that that's not what happened.
Well, it's facts. We have trained crime scene personnel that take measurements, that take angles, that, you know, are able to basically reconstruct the incident.
Okay.
I mean, in a 360.
Can we just back up for a little bit?
Sure.
All right, let's take a step back real quick. All right, so this morning, do you remember what time you woke up?
I have no idea. I didn't look.
How long before the time that you heard the pops did you wake up?
Maybe. Well, I was in the shower for a little bit. 10 minutes.
Maybe 10 minutes. So if you called the police at 10:50,
I don't know the exact time.
I believe that's about the time that you called.
Okay.
I don't know the exact time. So about 10:30, between 10:30 and 10:40 maybe. Does that sound like a reasonable time?
I guess. I mean, I didn't look at the time.
If you called, let's assume you called at 10:50.
Okay.
So you woke up about 10, 15 minutes before that, is what you're saying. About.
After I seen her on the floor,
Mhm.
it took me maybe a minute to find my phone. And I immediately called.
Okay.
I mean,
Where did you look for your phone?
It was on my bed in the room,
Okay.
I believe.
And you jump out of the shower, you were naked.
Yeah.
How long were you naked for?
Maybe, I don't know, I was putting on my clothes while I was talking to the dispatcher.
Okay. And just hear me out. I'm trying to think of if something makes sense to us, then we can say, okay, this makes sense to us.
Sure.
Just trying to fill in the blanks. And again, I know it's tough. I
can't remember everything.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But you were in there, and we weren't.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So you're the best person for us to get you and your stepson.
Sure.
That's all we're trying to do. Okay.
That's fine.
And so
If she was to have screamed, I couldn't have heard it.
okay.
I mean,
I'll go back to that.
Okay.
So you get out of the shower completely naked.
Mhm.
Do you grab a towel to run out, or no?
I don't remember. Maybe, probably.
Okay. So the towels for the shower are, I imagine there's
Just
somewhere where
hanging
you
up
can
on the
grab,
rack.
hanging up on the rack.
I don't
And I
know if I
imagine-
did or not.
And I imagine if you can grab that without getting out of the shower. Do you know if that's what you did? And you don't know
I don't know. I mean, it happened too quick.
All right, so you ran out there, but you're generally naked. You're not covering yourself at all.
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. No.
So at what point did you get dressed
Um,
or partially dressed?
I kind of grabbed my pants when I was calling 911.
Hmm.
Then I put it all on, said, help her. And then they were at my door within minutes.
Okay. These are the pants that you put on.
Correct.
Okay. And you grabbed them
That's
from.
from yesterday.
You grabbed them there. Where did you grab them from? Can you show us?
I can't remember.
You don't remember. Okay, so you grab these pants, you put them on, and I don't mean to ask embarrassing
I see the
questions.
pants and I put them on.
Okay.
And I even got boxers.
That was my question.
I don't know why.
Was the belt in the pants?
Yeah.
The belt was in the pants? Okay, so these are the pants that you wore yesterday?
Yesterday, correct.
Okay, when you walked into the shower today, what did you have on?
Nothing.
No. Were you naked when you woke up this morning?
No.
Okay, so what were you wearing when you woke up?
These.
So you fell asleep wearing these pants?
Correct.
So you went into the shower, and when you went into the shower,
Okay.
you take the pants off.
Correct.
Where did you take your clothes off?
In the bathroom.
Okay, you take your clothes off in the bathroom. So when you get out, you put on your pants immediately?
No.
You run out and see her and then run back in and put
Yes.
your pants on?
While I was calling 911, correct.
Okay. So you put on the pants. Had you dried off a little bit? I mean, was your hair all wet?
Yeah.
Like what?
That was
Yes.
wet.
Okay. So when you were in the shower, you were in a full-fledged shower. You had shampooed yourself and
No, not yet.
not yet.
Not yet.
Was your hair wet? I don't know
Yes.
things about hair.
Yes, my hair
I've
was wet.
been bald since I was like 20. So, okay. So how long does it take for your hair to dry out?
I got in the shower, okay, and I adjusted those one things I told you guys about. Then I started to take my shower, look, hold my soap, all that stuff, because we just moved there, there's stuff everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Started to take a shower, that's when I heard it.
Okay. All right. So at some point when you realize you're calling 911, I apologize for putting you through this shit over and over again. You started to call 911. You realize the police are going to be there.
Sure.
You don't want to be on an episode of Cops Wearing No Pants, so
Exactly.
you run into the bathroom. You pull the pants back up.
Mhm.
You don't even take time to put on the boxers.
No.
You just throw on the pants
And
to
go in
help
front
the
door.
cops when they get there.
Correct.
The detectives are particularly interested in Johansen's hair and state of dress because when the EMTs arrived, he was completely dry, a detail that contradicts his claim of being too wet and slippery to help Salenza. I wanted to remind you once again my new merch shop is up. StrangerLabel.com is full of relatable designs like the Unstable and the Mentally Checked Out t-shirts, as well as other cool items like the All-Seeing Beanie and the Stranger Socks. Every purchase helps support this channel, and you can even write me a short message on the purchase page. I'll be reading every single message that comes with any order, big or small. So head to StrangerLabel.com and get whatever you want. And with that said, let's get back into the case.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. And you had seen two blood stains on her.
I had seen it after the responder had told me to go look if she was still breathing.
Okay. I remember you said something about there was a lot less blood than you there was
Yeah, because they were trying to tell me to look.
right.
Look,
So
is
there was
anything?
there
Is
was
there
very
anything?
little blood at first.
When I was on the phone with the responder, yes.
Okay. All right. So there was no there was not like blood
I mean, it
splattered.
wasn't pooling or nothing like you said.
None of that
TV.
stuff. Okay.
No. I don't know about splatter. I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So I'm understanding the scene a little bit better. How many seconds does it take you to get from the bathroom to her? Like, I mean, is a hall? How big is the house? I don't even
Not
know.
that big.
Not that big.
Not that big. How many seconds after I cut off the water and all that stuff?
Okay.
Maybe 20.
Okay. All right. So when you jumped out of the shower, did you shut the shower off right there?
I don't remember. I just reacted.
Okay. Do you remember how long you had been in the shower at the time of it hurt? Like was the water run? I imagine it, like at my house, it takes fucking, like, it seems 30 minutes for the water to get hot
It
enough.
takes a little bit of time. When I walked into this shower, it was cold.
Okay.
And then I looked up and I was like, man, these things ain't done. So then I did that while I moved the shower head.
Okay.
And then I started to proceed to take my shower.
At what point did she, like, peek in?
Probably, I don't know, right after I adjusted the curtain.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that like a thing that?
Yeah, yeah,
That's like a thing that she does?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. You do that to her, or is it just one way?
yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll take a glass of cold water and throw it over or something,
Okay, so, I mean, this is what this indicates to me, is that even at the last thing that you were doing before you heard these pops, you and her were in a playful situation where she's screwing around with you and messing with you and then
Sure.
walks out. So there was no, is that why you're adamant that, there's no way that she did this to herself? Because I just want you to, there's part of what we're saying
I
is
can't
based
say
on,
she didn't.
just
but-
let me finish.
Go ahead.
Part of what we're saying and part of the angle that we're taking is based on you're saying that she could not have done this to herself.
Well, I'm not saying that she
So
did
well,
not have.
you told me,
I'm saying
and,
that's not in her personality.
but you told me in the thing that the words that you said exactly, and this stuck with me, is that you said you can just rule that out.
Yeah,
That
she's
was
not
kind of the first
suicidal.
thing. So I mean,
But she has had, those mental issues in the past.
has she ever tried to kill herself?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of. Have you guys ever talked about anything like that?
No.
No.
Well, she said that, like stupid stuff. Oh, I'm so stupid. I should just kill myself. But nothing like, seriously, I'm going to do it.
I'm sorry, one more time. Say that again?
Okay. She had said stuff in the past, like, oh, I'm so stupid, I'm gonna kill myself. But not like, hey, I'm really gonna do it.
Okay. All
You
right.
know what I mean? Everybody is guilty of that at some point in their life.
But there was no way, in my mind, that she could go from peekaboo to I'm so depressed, I'm gonna kill myself.
Exactly. That's why I ruled
So
out.
that's your thinking.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
All right. You didn't see anything like and you didn't see anything like in her face or
No.
anything like that.
Uh-uh.
And you actually, I'm sorry to bring this up again, but you actually saw her eyes roll back in her head.
Well, I said, Brandy, are you okay? I'm on with 911. Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
And all I heard is,
Oh my God.
yeah, man. And that is an image that I'm never going to be able to get out of my mind.
Okay. Are there any security cameras installed in your bedroom?
Not in the bedroom, no.
Not in the bedroom.
And the rest of them don't work. They're offline because the batteries are off.
Hypothetically speak, did they record audio and video?
Some of them do, some of them don't.
Not only were all of the cameras functioning correctly, they were also able to pick up most of Salenza's final morning. She made plans with her son, spoke to people at the door, and seemed to be in a good frame of mind until her fight with Johansen. Johansen insulted and screamed at her, and even went so far as to throw a gun at her and tell her to use it on herself. All of this was damaging for Johansen. However, it was what the cameras didn't pick up that the detectives found the most compelling. The time period of Salenza's death had been cut from the recording.
Okay.
And we had just had them up.
When did those get installed?
We installed them ourselves.
Okay, you guys installed
We
them.
just did it, I don't know, a couple days ago.
Where were the cameras installed exactly?
One in the front, one in the back, one on the side. And this side's not, I haven't got one yet for that side.
Okay.
Um,
You told somebody what service are you using? Is it cloud based or what?
I'm not even sure. They're so new. I believe.
Who are you paying? You paid somebody.
No,
So you don't pay any. Who'd you buy the cameras from?
Walmart.
Walmart. Do you know what brand they are?
R something?
Okay. And they were all like in the
Yeah.
same package.
It's one's Arlo and one is like something with an M.
Okay. Okay. So there were different brands.
Yeah.
So one of them had like X amount of cameras, and then you bought backup cameras, or
Well, see, the old house, I got the ones with the M, but those are wired.
okay.
And we didn't want nothing.
All these are wireless.
Yes.
And do you pay a subscription?
Two are wired and one wireless.
Did you pay a subscription every month?
Yes.
Okay. And the prescription, I'm sorry.
It's a one-time kind of thing.
One-time thing, and they get uploaded to a cloud, or they're in a
I
hard
guess.
Okay. So there's no like hard drive somewhere?
No.
Nothing. Okay. How do you work those cameras?
Usually through a cell phone.
Okay. And you had like an app on your phone or something like that?
Yes. But we just got new phones.
Okay. So you did not have the app on your current phone?
I do, but I haven't.
Okay. Do you know what the app is called?
I think it's Arlo.
Arlo. Is that one of those Halo, or one of those cameras that on the doorbell cameras? Is that the same brand?
I don't know if they make a doorbell one or not.
Okay. All right. And you and your wife, I imagine, are the ones that know the password for that.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
I recently couldn't get in because she was the only one with the password.
Alright.
Then she couldn't get in either because it switched, because it's a different router.
Okay.
So that's what our problem was, is we were trying to set them up.
Okay. Alright.
And I wish they would have been on, because that would have been clarifying all of this.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, if something like that, if we were to have that on the video, I cannot even tell you the crazy shit that I have seen on surveillance cameras.
Sure.
And then when we have the family members or whatever,
Sure.
because the family members are going. I have had things where we have people who have been threatening to commit suicide for years.
Sure.
Years. Social media, writing in a thing, leaving suicide notes. Boom, they're dead. Next thing you know, the family is accusing
Sure.
the spouse
Sure.
or the roommate or whatever. I mean, it happens all the time.
It's because no one knows how to process stuff.
That's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head.
The only problem that we had is with one of our neighbors kept walking through our yard.
So, one of the neighbors, what?
Walking through our yard.
And what do you mean?
Like he was walking through our yard all times tonight.
Doing what?
I don't know. One right next door. To the right.
25?
I don't know.
What was your address?
23.
23 was on the same side of the road?
Yeah, just right
It
next
was
door.
either 25 or 21 probably?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
And he'd been there many times, we just don't answer the door.
Okay. Did you have a problem with him?
Not like a problem. I mean, I told him the other day, you can't be walking through my yard.
And what did he say?
Okay. And then the cops were there at his house that night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright. Listen, man. We got a job to do, okay? Again, I apologize. Nobody's trying to pin anything on you.
Well, that's what it appears like to me.
Listen, I appreciate you staying here and talking to us. I appreciate it. When I can tell the family, listen, he was voluntarily here.
I was. I mean,
We're listening. I know. Listen to me, dude. I know this is a tough day for you. Hopefully this is the worst day of your life, and tomorrow starts something new.
I hope so too.
Okay? We gotta get through this day. You staying here, talking to us, everything's which is fantastic to show the family.
I mean, I take it like she's trying to pin it on me, and
Nicole.
that's, yeah, and I'm very offended.
Okay. I apologize for that. Okay? This is, I don't want you to feel like anybody's trying to pin something on you.
Okay.
Sometimes there's certain things that happen that are extremely unlikely.
Sure.
Knowing firearms, it does happen.
Sure.
It does happen. Dropping a firearm, and having it go off is a fairly rare thing. Okay? It does happen.
Sure.
We need to have the best answers that we have.
Sure.
So that we can close out this case. Otherwise, it remains open.
Okay.
And
You'd
then
be harassed forever.
nobody wants to harass you. I definitely do not want to harass you.
I know.
Okay?
It's just like she's not accepting what I saw and what I heard, and
Okay.
and that makes me feel like I'm getting the injustice now.
Well, listen, if there is injustice, like I would not be calling chaplains to come talk to you and pray with you and all this other stuff. You just gotta understand it's a shitty situation, and we are gonna have 50 million eyes looking at us.
Me too
We're gonna
now.
have 50 million questions, and we need to be able that we have all our ducks in a row,
Right.
and we need to be able to say, this is why we believe what we believe, and this is what we've done to rule person X, Y, and Z out.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
We have, a situation where, God damn it, I keep forgetting his name. His stepson.
Right.
Ryland. Okay, sorry. Where Ryland says something, and we need to be able to compare, why is Ryland saying this?
Sure.
I did not have any backstory until you just told me
Mhm.
that, he makes things up or things like that.
Sure.
These are very touchy things. We have to make sure we're,
And he's been to this psychiatrist too for stuff like that.
okay.
He's been diagnosed with obsessive destruction disorder.
What does that mean?
He lies, makes stuff up to destruct himself or others.
Okay. All right. So,
And that's proven
how is that proven?
through the psychiatrist.
Okay. Do you know the name of the
I have
psychiatrist?
no idea. Dr. Davis?
Is it around here? in
Yeah.
Blackman?
Yeah.
Okay. Would we be able to get any of that through the family, or anything like that?
I don't know. We'll look up Dr. Davis himself.
So, okay. So that's Dr. Davis. That's over here on 100, the children's doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Yeah, that's him.
All right. So, he said that there was a scream and 2 shots.
Okay.
I mean, what was your you have a good relationship with him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, would he want to stick by me side by side?
You would think he would.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys have fun. It's not like a redheaded stepchild type situation.
No.
Okay. I did listen to your 911 call, and being a step parent myself, one of the things that I heard that even in this moment of horror in your life,
Mhm.
you told the dispatcher he's ours.
Well,
you
yeah.
obviously consider
Yes. He calls me daddy.
him. Okay.
The relationship turned out to mean very little to Johansen. During his trial, he accused the 6-year-old boy of killing his mother.
So he calls you dad.
Mhm.
You guys have fun together. He's not like a thorn in your side or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
Like any other kid, he can, act up and stuff, but yeah.
Okay. So you guys have a great relationship.
Sure.
What time does he usually wake up before you guys wake up or what?
Usually, yeah.
Okay. All right. Does he hear a lot of arguing? Is there something lately with the arguing that's got him upset with you? I mean,
I
again,
don't think
man,
so.
I'm just trying to figure this out.
Me and her were talking about maybe taking a trip. And, I was like, well, then don't come. And he was like, had something to say about that, but that's about it.
Who would he stay with if you guys were to take a trip?
I was planning on seeing if we could take him with us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm misunderstood. Okay. How and you've been in his life since he was 4 or 5 or
4. Yeah.
4. Okay. So he doesn't probably even really remember any other father figure other than you. He doesn't.
Well, not a real father figure.
Okay. Where's real dad?
His real dad lives local.
He does.
Yeah, his name is James Bruce.
Okay. And he's not really part of the picture or
He is, but he's got
More
a bad
like-
background.
Okay.
He's been in prison a couple times. I'm actually the reason why she let him start to see him again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did that go?
It's good so far. He's not paying now. But
Child support.
yeah, but that's on him.
I hear you. Okay.
No, it's on him.
Okay. So you take care of this child
Yeah.
financially.
Him and her, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was he ever? This is the one thing that I don't want it to look bad for you is going back. If there's been more of a and again, and Nicole did say this, but like if there's a you don't want to talk bad about somebody who just passed.
I mean, but I also want you to know the truth too.
No, I know. I'm just saying it can be hard to.
She's had a tough life, you know.
As far as this thing with her talking to somebody else online.
I let that shit go, man.
So there were no flare-ups between you and her that he might have heard that he's just.
None.
I'm trying to figure out if
When we
something
talked about
happened that made him recently harbor some resentment towards you to make him say,
When we talked about it, he went to his dad's house. And, because she don't want him to hear those kinds of things,
okay,
And there had been, once or twice where she brought it up, and I was like, just don't go there. You know what I mean?
she give you a name of this person?
Mm-mm. No, it's like people that don't even live in the state, she said.
Okay, so
So it was just random. Yeah.
Is this something she did when she was drunk or high or and came to her senses?
It was months ago, she said.
Months ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was no.
And I didn't care. You know what I mean? Your past is your past. I got a past. You know what I mean? And I was actually proud of her.
No, I hear you. It's better to hear it from the horse's mouth than to have you have to do some snooping and find out.
Exactly, and I never did do snooping.
Yeah. Did you ever make her give you like her password to her phone
Never.
or anything like that?
Never. I believed in privacy.
You guys kept locks on your phones.
Mhm.
Okay. Hypothetically, if you were to have asked her, "Can I see your phone?" Would she would tell you no, or
No, he would usually hand it right over.
okay,
But I never had the need to ask her these things.
okay. So earlier you also told Detective Thomas you brought up a gunshot test, and you would be willing to take a gunshot
Yes.
test to roll your.
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind if I go check on if we have one close by, or if I
Sure.
need to run to the precinct?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, Daddy.
What's going on?
Wait for you to release me so I can go to my family.
Okay. So, are you? You don't want to go over things again? I mean, what's your take on it?
Look what I mean.
I don't know. He said something about that you just wanted to be done or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder when I'm gonna be done so I can just go see my family at 6 o'clock. Man.
Okay. All right. I would like to go over everything one more time.
Good.
Is that okay? Okay. Do you need a drink? Do you need anything else? Okay. Do you need to use the bathroom? Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me go talk to my supervisor because there was a misunderstanding about maybe you were just going to leave, but
No.
okay. All right.
Come on.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Jeez.
All right.
Tell me about it. So tell me about it.
Well, my wife's pissed because I'm not home, so I need to wrap this shit up. Anything, again, these things are kind of like a roller coaster. I understand that you felt offended. Again, I apologize for that. Sometimes there's the nature of being a police officer. A lot of times people take things differently. Obviously, we're investigating this case.
Mhm.
We have to be able to present something plausible.
Sure.
I've had a rape case that was assigned to me, and the person basically lived on a second floor. The window was locked. The bedroom door was locked, and the person had something behind the door, which basically, if let's say somebody were to have picked the lock and opened the door, there was a mirror behind the door.
Okay.
That was just leaned up against the door. And if somebody opened that door, the mirror would fall over, and it was like wood floors, and the mirror would have shattered in a million pieces.
Huh.
So this person tells us that they were raped inside the house, inside the bedroom. When they woke up, they called 911 and said this is what happened. And they also said that the strange thing was that when they woke up, the mirror was still behind the door was still locked, and the window was locked.
Yeah.
So I said,
What the heck? Yeah.
obviously somebody didn't materialize in that room.
Yeah.
And, she was very adamant that in the middle of the night, she remembers she feels she was drugged and raped and whatever, and that she came to in the morning and immediately called 911. And she was mad that I didn't believe her that she was raped.
Sure.
If I would have had something that can explain how in the hell somebody if you would open the door, the mirror would fall. I mean, there's no way a human being could get into that room, and that's what I wrote in my report. And I had to close this out, and this person was mad at me because I said because a reasonable person wouldn't have understood that. So we've got this situation where we're gonna have. I'm telling you, we're gonna have a suspicious family.
Well, yeah.
It's just you, her, and a 6-year-old in the house. And we've got to get the story right. We've got to understand if he was lying because he was mad at you about something.
The only yelling that he would have heard is me saying, "Call 911. 911's on the phone." That's it.
Who did you yell, call 911 to?
Anyone that could hear me.
Okay. All right. So you yelled, call 911. Were you yelling it for him?
Him or anybody.
Okay.
Because at the time I was like, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone?"
Okay. So your phone was on the plug or what?
I believe it was on the bed or near the bed, maybe my nightstand.
Okay.
Well, my dresser.
Okay. And again, I know we've gone over
I don't
this.
remember. I was just searching.
I know. And again, I thank you for going over this with me. I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay. So you came out of the bathroom initially naked.
Yes.
The first time that you came out of the bathroom, was that when you kicked the first gun?
Yes.
Okay. And that was not an intentional kick,
No.
or it was?
No.
Okay.
That's when I was walking up to see what the hell.
Okay.
And I looked down, whoa. Whoa, 911, somebody call 911. And then I grabbed my phone.
Okay. So while you're looking for your phone, you yell this out. Okay.
Yes.
Does he come into the room?
No.
He did not come into
No.
the room. Do you think why wouldn't he come into the room?
I don't know.
Okay. All
I
right.
mean, maybe he didn't even hear it because of the TV. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So
I have no idea.
you called 911
Yes.
from which phone?
From my cell phone.
From your cell phone.
Correct.
Okay. And do you have any other cell phones?
Mm-mm.
What kind of cell phone is it that you have?
I don't know. You guys lost it or have it or something.
No, somebody has it. Okay. So your cell phone, the one that you had here, that was the one that you had. Okay, so you called 911. Before you called 911, did you call anybody else?
No.
Okay. So you immediately called 911.
Correct.
After the incident, before you got here, did you call anybody?
I don't. Yeah, my mom and my dad. But I was around police officers.
Okay.
So.
All right. So they know you did that.
Sure.
All right. So you called your mom first. What did you tell your mom?
I was like, "It's been an accident. I think Brandy accidentally shot herself. I need you here now."
Okay. I'm sorry. Are your mom and your dad together, or those are two separate phone
Yeah.
calls?
Yeah, together.
Okay. So you called 911 within very short amount of time.
Yeah, probably within seconds.
Okay. So you were on the phone with
Not on the
911
whole time.
the whole time.
Yep.
Were you on the phone when you put your pants on?
I can't remember.
Can't remember. That's fine. Okay. So you were on the phone with 911. They asked you to do it. You couldn't because you were slipping all over the place.
Yes. Yeah. My feet were still wet. I mean, if you look, there's wet tracks on my feet all over the place.
Okay. All right. What were the conversations that you had with your stepson?
I mean,
Did you have any conversations with your stepson?
stay in here. Something happened. I think I think someone shot the gun wrong. And I was like, stay in here. And
Okay.
then I closed his door.
So he knew there was something going with the gun.
Yes.
Did he know his
he
mom?
heard it.
Did you
No.
tell?
I did not say well, he would probably assume, you know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Where's his room in relation
Right next
to
to
yours?
ours.
Right next to
Yes.
yours. Okay. All right. And he didn't go in there.
No?
He knows not to go into the bedroom.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I've got a couple of crime scene texts that are up at the house. Okay. They're going over the scene. Okay. I don't want there to be any misunderstanding. At this point in time, I'm gonna have to have you stay here with us and not release you at this time. The reason I want to make sure that we have, I want to make sure that, for example, there is no video, and again, and you have to understand, and you have to get past being offended by something just for a minute and understand that I have to make sure there's nothing like footage on the camera of, and again, forgive me for saying this, but footage of you shooting her or something like that.
Sure.
On video. Okay, so they're gonna inspect that stuff. Okay, they're gonna see what there is. They're gonna see how many bullet holes are wherever. Okay, so I mean, you're saying it looked like there might have been two.
No, I said I heard two pops.
You heard two pops, but two. Okay, so you were saying two little.
No, I didn't see any.
I'm talking about on her shirt.
Yeah, like one, and then there could have been one. You know,
Okay,
just
all right.
just.
All right. So since you're here,
He's on the left side.
okay. So at this point, until they're done with that scene, you just can't be free to leave. I can't let you leave until that time.
Right.
Okay. So whenever that happens, we have to unequivocally let you know what your rights are. It does not mean you're under arrest or whatever.
Can I have my parents come here to talk to?
How do I get a hold of your parents?
I'll tell you the numbers.
Okay. Here. Write these numbers down.
That way I can at least talk to some family.
I gotta go get a piece of paper, okay, and I gotta show it to you, and I'll be right back, okay? We can call your parents and have them come down here if you want, okay?
Yeah, can I speak to them and talk to them?
Well, we can have your parents come down here.
Okay.
Do you think they would be willing to come down here?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so,
And why am I being detained?
again, we have to go through the crime scene, okay? I have not been to the crime scene.
Okay.
And again, you have to understand from my position, I'm working initially for the victim and she is the decedent, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to make sure that we're doing everything carefully, and as carefully as possible to make sure that we don't miss anything,
Sure.
okay? So obviously, if we haven't, we have to go through a certain process before we can go through the house,
Sure.
okay?
So why did she say that the crime scene said it was impossible?
What do you mean? She said that the crime scene from what we saw is the initial deputies who got there have on body cameras.
Sure.
And what we've seen is these blurry ass little snippets of them walking through the house and
Sure.
what they saw. I think there were 2 deputies that went in the house, maybe 3, I don't know. We had to look at their videos to see what was, so that we understand what was inside the house.
Sure.
Now, having said that, I don't need to tell you, it's probably really easy to miss something
Mhm.
when you're looking at it from a body camera. I mean, have you seen these police
Yeah,
shootings?
they
on-
suck. Yeah.
Okay, so that's all we had to go on.
Okay.
We had to get our crime scene technicians and whatever to go through the crime scene methodically, tell us what they have, and then give you an opportunity to tell us what, if
My
we
side.
see something and say, hey, before we let you go, I mean, what was this?
Sure.
Now, because we have to, we made the decision that we are gonna get the crime scene there and we are gonna go through it as a crime scene.
Okay.
I have to give you your rights, like you've seen in the movies,
Okay.
okay? I have to read them to you and you have to acknowledge them,
Okay.
okay?
Now, should I have a lawyer for any of this?
I can't advise you on that. But I can let you, we can let your parents come down here. You can talk to them and whatever. Now, one of the rights in here is that if, and it's number 5, if you decide to answer any questions without a lawyer present,
Sure.
you still have the right to stop answering at any time,
Sure.
and you have the right to stop answering any time until you talk to a lawyer.
Right.
So nothing about signing this
Well, but
says,
saying that would say, maybe I'm guilty or whatever.
what do you mean?
Like, not talking about it.
What do you mean? Well, it's a constitutional right.
Oh,
You have a
okay.
right to a lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you have already come down here. You have already
Sure.
given us a statement.
Mhm.
You've been here for this many hours on your own voluntarily.
Yeah.
Okay, am I right?
Yes.
Has anybody threatened you or told you you can't leave or anything like that?
Well,
Do you-
now you are, but
You remember outside though? I told you
Yeah,
I
sure.
would give you a ride up to your house or have a deputy take you. So
Sure.
anyway, having said all that, you can listen to these rights and sign all this and initial that you understand
Okay.
that you're a cognizant person that can make your own decisions.
Sure.
Just because you sign this, that does not mean that if you're talking to us and then at some point you decide, you know what, I would like to have an attorney.
Sure.
Then that's what it is.
Sure.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, can you spell your first name?
Keith.
Okay. You have one middle name?
John.
John. J-O,
H-N, I believe. You need
last name?
Johansen.
I'm sorry?
Joh.
That's your last name?
Yeah. Johansen.
Oh, okay. E-N?
Mhm.
How old are you?
I am 36.
Same here. What's the highest grade that you completed?
Like a 10th.
10th?
Yeah.
Okay. You speak English? Yes. Okay. I'll ask you to read these out loud. And not to embarrass you. You can read correctly?
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. So you can read these out loud and initial them afterwards and then read the bottom and then sign it.
I mean, how long will I be here? Sheesh.
Well, I want to be able to have your parents come down here. I mean, it's going to take them 20 minutes to get here. If you want to discuss things with them, I mean, whatever you guys want to do. I just want to hold on until
Forensics is done.
I need to have them go through the crime scene. Okay.
You have the right to remain silent.
Yes.
Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and advise before you ask question and to have him with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer the question without a lawyer present, you will have the right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer.
You understand that, right? That was the part
Then I
that
might want a lawyer
Okay.
because from what I hear, you guys are trying to pin it on me. After the warning, ask the following questions. Secure and affirmative answers.
Okay. After the warning, okay, we gotta ask you the following questions, okay?
Mhm.
An affirmative answer to each to obtain a waiver. So do you understand it?
Yes. Have you previously requested law enforcement officer to allow you to speak to an attorney? What did I say? Yes and no?
What do you mean?
I mean,
Well, you didn't ask me if
Not
you
yet.
could speak to an attorney, so.
not yet, because I don't yet.
Okay.
With these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now? I have talked to you now, but at any time can I request a lawyer as well?
Yes.
Okay. This is my signature?
Yes, sir. Okay, so again, that's with these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now? And yes, and of course, you retain the right to stop answering questions and have an attorney present, okay?
Sure.
And you have not previously requested any law enforcement officer allow you to speak to an attorney at this point.
At this point. Right?
Okay, all right. I am going to get, who should I call first?
Try my mom and then not my dad.
Well, I'm sorry, what was the name? Lori?
Lori.
Okay. And Garrett is your
There's
dad?
myself.
Okay.
I can just call him.
Right. Okay. I can't give you your phone right now. I can give you this agency phone here, and you can make the phone call.
Is that illegal?
What?
It's my property.
No, it's not illegal. It's if you can put it on, just make sure you have it on speakerphone.
Sure. How do you do that?
That's the number you want to dial?
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's the one of Vidali's with the hospital, correct?
Yes, correct. 901 East Moody Boulevard.
Hey, Mom, can you and Dad come down to, you know, in Bunnell, the old hospital?
Yeah. Did they release you?
Nope. I need you to come. I need you to come down and talk to me.
There's a lawyer. Hang on. We gotta get a lawyer.
Yeah, get one now.
Hey,
Yes.
what is going on?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
You have a right. Have they charged you with anything?
Not yet.
Then you have a right to leave right
Nope, they're
now.
detaining me.
They can't detain you. Unless they charge you and arrest you, you have the right to leave. The cop told me that.
Okay, they
You
said,
tell them that
hey,
we
hey,
got you a lawyer.
hey, just come down
What?
to, you know where the old hospital is in Bunnell?
Yeah, I know where it's at.
Come here and see me, now.
Oh, they wouldn't let me in before.
Well, they said that you can come down here and see me.
Hold up. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Come down and see me at the old hospital in Bunnell.
Okay, well, we get a lawyer.
Yep, you get a lawyer.
It's going to cost you $8,000.
I don't give a shit because
I know.
now they're trying to say this and that.
Sarah put up $1,000.
Okay, alright, give me a lawyer.
We already got him, and they're on the case right now.
Okay, and you tell him to come down here with you.
Well, he's not coming.
Okay.
He's not coming.
Well, they're
But
gonna.
they should be getting all of the information now. They cannot detain you without charging you with anything.
Okay.
And they can't charge you until they get that search warrant and get in that stuff.
Okay. Alright.
Keep your mouth shut. Don't
Yeah.
say a freaking thing.
Not beyond this point.
Nothing.
Okay. Not beyond this point.
Nothing. I don't care what you said before. If they're detaining you, say that your lawyer is, because the lawyer says that they will not let you leave that's in your favor.
They said that
But
they
you
won't let me
know,
leave.
but you know, he said, we told him everything, Keith.
They said that they won't
They
let
said
me
that
leave.
you probably will be charged with a class 3 felony
For what?
for the pot.
Oh, who cares?
Well, that's what we're concerned about. Also, it says that it's the investigation is under suspicion for homicide.
Yeah, that's not cool. Give me a lawyer, get him down here right now so they'll let me go.
Well, that's what it said on Flagler Live. So, the lawyer is on it, and Mom and I are on our way right now.
Alright, you come with my lawyer now.
But the lawyer's already on retainer. We already paid him.
They
We
won't
paid
let
him
me.
$1,000.
They won't let me go.
What do you mean they won't let you go?
They won't let me leave.
They are contacting them as we speak. If
Alright.
they do not let you go, then they're in violation of your rights because you have not been charged
Okay, they
with
will not.
anything.
They will not let me go. He just said it.
If am I charged with anything, if they say no, say that I'm leaving.
Okay, well,
Period.
come down and see me now.
All right, I'm on my way.
Alright.
Just me. Okay.
You and Mom.
Great. All right. Okay.
Alright,
We're
bye.
on our way.
Bye, bye.
Bye.
Are you charging me?
You're
So you're telling me I cannot leave?
Yes.
Okay, you tell my lawyer this.
Yes.
Okay. That's fine. I still want to talk to my parents, so.
Okay, that's fine. Just hang out here. You've been cooperative, so I'm not gonna handcuff you or anything like that. You can just stay here. If you have an issue with the fact that you're detained again, you can tell your parents, you can tell your lawyer,
Okay.
and for the time being, just hang out
Why
here.
am I being detained?
You are being detained because of
They said it's under suspicion of homicide?
who said that?
It's like they're alive.
What did Flagler Live say?
That it's under the suspicion of
Okay.
homicide.
Okay. Well, every death is treated as a homicide. So
Okay.
I don't know. You're asserting your right to a lawyer, so I'm not going to really talk to you at this point as far as asking you questions.
Okay.
If you need something, I'll be right out
And you
here.
will let me talk to my parents, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And again, I understand your position. I understand that you don't want to talk at this time. So again, I can't question you or I can't ask you any questions unless you were to come and tell me that you wanted to talk to me.
Okay.
So that's the reason. I'm not trying to be standoffish.
And would you bring them back here?
Absolutely. Okay.
They should be here quick.
Okay. No problem.
Johansen's parents would change their tone once they learned the details of the case. His father became suspicious when he realized how badly Johansen's story aligned with the evidence, and his mother was horrified when Johansen implied that his stepson could be responsible. After less than 3 hours of deliberation, a jury found Keith Johansen guilty of murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like the video. And if you want to support the channel even more, there's a Patreon link in the description below. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.